Bringing all the real classic hip-hop and R&B.
And I'm a little slow on some of these things, but
what about Bay? Like, I never caught that train.
BAE?
Yeah, like my Bay.
I've heard of Bay, but
I've heard of all of these.
The acronym
I just didn't get on the train, you know what I mean? Like, I just let it go by. Like, okay, you guys can say Bay.
I'm good.
Go ahead.
I'm good. I got caught up a little bit on that, but with TIL, it was Today I Learned. And so that was pretty fun it was a bunch of fun, interesting little things.
Reddit tends to provide that.
Right. It's one of the places. The other one, I think, was 4chan was the other one I started to see. The front page of the internet is as it's been described. And so it just...
Really?
Yeah.
I think people should know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
They described it as it's the front page of the internet. So every time you see a meme on Facebook...
It came from there.
Came from Reddit. You see
Really?
a meme on Instagram, came from Reddit. Like, most of the time it came from Reddit or 4chan, which is where a lot of these... These Bitcoin guys and all these internet guys, they all hang on there and love to post and so on. So ends up, Today I Learned, one of them...
What did you learn today?
There was a couple things. A couple fun ones. One of them was, it was about a plane crashed with...
Just so you know, your definition of fun is a lot different than mine.
All right, this one should be
You just
fun.
said fun, and you just
I
started
said
with
a plane crash?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you're doing great, Chief.
All right, so the plane was filled with pot.
Oh.
6,000 pounds of it.
Oh.
And it crashed into in one of our parks in Yosemite.
Really?
And it became like a hiker's hush hush. We found this plane at the top of the mountain, and so hikers would literally hike up to the top of the mountain and be like, a word. Weed.
Bunch of weed.
Yeah, to where, look
and
it up.
nobody was telling nobody. It was just a secret.
It was like the quiet secret until eventually the park rangers were like,
how come everybody keeps going up this trail?
So popular up there. It's weird. And then,
investigate.
6,000 pounds.
Well, actually, 5,000 pounds.
Yeah, probably. By the time they got to it, you're right. By the time they got to it, they're like, wow, 500 pounds.
People just packing in, packing out.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy story to where I'm telling everybody, as we always do your research. It's a plane crashing in Yosemite with drugs. Just start Googling that, and immediately
You'll find the
story comes up.
That's a unique story. I'm assuming it's maybe not new. Or
no, this is from the 70s, from
the 70s,
76
so your
era.
grandparents were out there hiking.
Yeah,
and picking up this weed,
having a good time.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah, just
in a day
up.
that was definitely outlawed.
Right.
And it was very taboo to, that's crazy.
And they're like, we're just going hiking.
We're gonna take everybody.
You guys like hiking so much. It's strange. So strange. But yeah, the pot thing, obviously I would climb a mountain.
Would you? I think I would go see it,
I complained to you about the incline, right?
Yes, you did. No, you didn't complain. You told me that you didn't make it. And then I laughed.
Okay, listen, that's not right. We didn't want to discuss that part of it. I'm saying I was just talking about how I went to the incline. You don't have to give the details on it, okay?
All right.
You didn't have to go there, Manny. You didn't have to go there.
Continue.
Anyway.
So you like climbing mountains.
No, but if they told me at the top of this incline there was 6,000 pounds of pot, I would have made it to the top, Manny.
You're like, I got to see this.
I would have gotten there, but no, I was just told that the top is just the top.
It is. You just get to turn around and look back at your past.
Yeah, and then you're like, wow. That was a bad idea.
Do you have any idea how many times I've been proposed? Like, people want us to do our show doing the incline, like do a remote.
So that the only audio they hear is...
we'll be...
Manny?
Music, please.
Manny, I audibly I'm sorry. I'm audible when I get sick.
That'd be a horrible radio broadcast. But people have asked for it, and I think it's just because they want to see us suffer.
Well, they're going to keep asking. That's going to have to keep going to where... Have you ever... Not to segue there, but have you ever had a friend, or are you that audible when you get sick, when you get ill?
Really? You want to talk about that?
Well, because when I went up the mountain, I was quiet about it. I got sick. I got sick, but nobody noticed. It was one of those quick,
and then you
kept going like nothing happened.
I'd say it's possible. Like it can be done. It can be handled with some discreetness. But in the truth of the matter, when it comes to that situation, you pretty much just want to get it done and over with. So you don't want to hold anything back, and you just go for it.
So you might be an audible.
It can be.
It can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cowboy's been known to be in the back bathroom like, ah!
Oh,
like, whoa, cowboy, you all right?
During my drinking days, man, that was a whole day. I'd empty the tank just so I can go back, fill it back up.
You're like, oh, let's just empty this one. Ah!
And then
I'm
come
ready
back.
for more.
Then come back. I thought you were going to ask me if I ever went for a hike and found something.
No.
Because it happened.
What do you mean? Like you went out and it was just like
and then there was this thing that was there, and we were like, oh, wow. Maybe we can partake in this and nobody will know because it's just out here in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, like pizza toppings.
Me and my brother were about 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
And my dad was running water in Northern California for the fire. There was a big fire back in the 90s and whatnot. And me and my brother went out hiking because we were out in this little resort kind of thing that they had all the firemen staying at and, the responders and everything. And me and my brother come across a 12-pack of beer out in the woods.
And you're how old?
And we're like 12, 13 years old.
Oh, Lord.
Right. And Dad's gone because he's running water, doing the fire thing. And the stepmom's in the cabin, because she's camping.
Yeah.
And the boys were out here just running amok. And we find this case of beer out there. And, yeah, we have a couple.
Wow.
But
Went for it.
Here's the truth. And this will let you know how young we were.
Must have tasted great.
What we'll do is we'll just fill them back up and put the caps on. But there was no running water.
No one will know.
So basically we were going to drink the beer and fill them back up.
Yeah.
And then deuce out.
No.
And, yeah, good times.
Good luck. It's recycled, y'all.
Yeah, enjoy your beer when you find it again.
Wow. Wow.
We're kids.
Wow. That sounds a lot like what I was.
Sounds like a kid story.
Kinda. It sounds like it's reminding me of the China thing we talked about. Makes no sense that I'm going there with this, but
it makes perfect sense.
So we were talking about bootleg stuff in China a little while ago, and just bootleg stuff in general. And I know you're like, how the hell does this connect?
Colorado Springs. Put your seatbelt on.
How does this even make sense?
Yeah.
So they make bootleg food.
What?
So like the way your beer, someone would have gotten it and been like, man, this beer tastes funny.
This is bitter.
It would have been that like your cousin Wang would have sold it to you to where like, I swear to God, I'm listening to this
saying
morning.
That like, there's counterfeit beer?
There's fake food.
Food?
They had a lot of incidences.
Like instead of the Big Mac, it's like the big muck. I don't know.
It's completely insane to where I just found out about this morning to where.
Okay. This part of the TIL I learned?
No, this was just a random. I'm listening to a podcast and they start talking about this. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I start Googling it. They make fake food in China where they make fake eggs.
Why? I mean, you keep saying this. Like, is it for movie props? Or?
No, like, I guess there's just not enough eggs where I'm like, make more chickens. It's not, I mean, it's a chicken. The chicken does the
second
the deal.
Part. Right.
Like, that's it. But no, they went, I feel like it's just, it would be so much of a hassle to do this, but they go into a lab and they actually create a fake egg made out of, like, paraffins and different, like, how do I explain, like, different chemicals and stuff like that to where, like, literally they're making all different kinds of fake food.
I don't get it. I mean, I understand that they're making fake, like 3D printing, and then like they're gonna expect somebody to eat this.
They do, and they do know that it's a thing to where like they'll have recycled oil.
And this is China.
Yeah.
Thanks, China.
Yeah. It's really bad over there where they can't even see the sky on certain days of the week, type of thing.
Due to the pollution.
It's that they're making that much stuff to sell to us. It's
wow.
It's pretty intense. But when I found out there's all this fake food, like they have glowing pork.
Glowing pork?
Yeah.
Let me see this.
It's to where again they start inventing and making all these different products, and then some of them get contaminated.
Colorado
and they
Springs, look this up.
They're like, I'm
glowing pork.
Keep scrolling through, man. You'll find the egg in there
fake
too.
Rice noodles.
Yep, they'll have fake eggs.
Fake eggs.
And you're just like, wait, why? What? But it's a way of making money. I found a way to make a fake noodle, and I know I can make it and sell it. People buy it, and then they do, and it's scary because they don't know the health consequences or what the heck's going on there. But yeah, next thing you know, you crack open that beer.
No, China's got the hustle right here.
What
this
they got?
Is the hustle.
Talk to me.
Apparently, for scammers, they're taking old walnut shells and filling them with concrete and then reselling them.
Stop.
Like, what are you flipping, man?
Yo, man, don't knock the hustle, all right? Don't knock the hustle, okay? Nobody's asking for you to knock the hustle to where, like I said, we were talking about bootleg stuff.
Right.
And then I realized it's counterfeit, and then they went down to counterfeit
just look
food.
up fake food.
So somebody would have grabbed that beer in China and just been like, yeah, tastes a little off, but it's the beer. It'll
do.
The China beer. No big
gross.
deal. That's the bootleg life of things. It's no big deal. But the Today I Learned thing definitely is a fun hashtag that I've been barely starting.
And that's through Reddit?
Reddit was the one that I started seeing TIL, if you will.
And if you could give Colorado Springs a quick brief, like what is Reddit?
Again, I see it as, it's hard for me to describe because I'm new to it.
From my understanding, it's like a posting platform.
Yeah, it's like a chat forum.
Right.
And then you there's all different areas within with a lot of different moderators and
kind of like the old bulletin board that used to be at the grocery store, and you can just put a note up there, and then anybody could comment on that note or add a note to it.
To
you
a
know
T.
what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. Like somebody will go on there and be like,
I need a new casserole recipe.
Well, so that's one thing. Or someone will go on and be like, pregnant with twins, not happy.
What do I do?
At all. And like literally go down to where I read this, I'm having twins. It wasn't me, I swear, or my lady writing this down. But somebody went down the road of like, I'm having twins. Me and my wife are not happy about this.
What do I do?
Everyone else is happy about this, but I'm not happy about this. My wallet ain't happy. My
car, my house.
Yeah, my car, no third row seating. My house, my 2-bedroom apartment's not happy.
Now the dog can't go camping.
Yeah, and they went on, and sure enough, it went viral, and everybody's like, you know how hard it is to get pregnant nowadays? How dare you feel this way? And they're like, I don't care how you feel.
Right.
I'm telling you, this
Right.
is my life and what I'm going through, and I get it. You want children, and you're willing to pay $800,000 to get injected and make it work.
And maybe you want to eat ramen for the 18 years that kid's in,
Yeah, and that's your choice. No problem. But I have real feelings and opinions, and I think I'm allowed to voice mine.
Why not, right?
And yeah, I guess, again, they posted under an anonymous alias on this one because...
and you can do that with Reddit.
Right.
To where you can just ask questions. You can inquire it. Completely anonymous.
Right, and you can just put something out there that maybe you're afraid to even discuss.
Like, what if it's not a flat Earth thing? What if it's a flat moon thing? What if there's no other side of the moon? What if it's just flat up there? Don't do that, Don't.
That's deep, Manny. Manny, you might be on to something, Manny.
No, somebody.
Hold on.
Yeah, people are gonna start making shirts.
No.
Flat moon. Here it
the
comes.
flat moon. Today I learned TIL on the Manny and DrChurch show. The moon might be flat. Now,
I mean, from my perspective, where I look at it, it's just a circle.
It could be cheese, Manny.
Just a circle floating.
You might be right. You might be right. That's a tough one to where I'll put that up. The TIL today I learned from Manny.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing I learned on this one, the second one I guess that really stuck out to me, I showed you earlier, was one of my favorite actors.
Okay.
Rick Moranis. Makes no sense that he's one of my...
Pauly Shore.
Oh, you brought something else.
I know.
I'm sad.
Pauly Shore is dead.
Pauly
is a movie on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
you can find it on Amazon.
But the true story with that is his mom is dead.
Ooh.
That's for real. Shout out Mitzi.
That was a comedy legend.
Super legend. And when she passed away on like every big deal comedians thing, like Joe Rogan, everybody was just like, this was the woman, period. Like, if you made it, it was most likely because of her.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But I ended up learning about Rick Moranis, where Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You know, I mean, nothing but hits, bro. I got
Honey,
hits.
I Shrunk the Kids.
The dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Rick Moranis. Little Giants.
Yeah.
He was Icebox's dad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He always wore the glasses, kind of nerdy father guy. Yeah.
Exactly. And he was on a hit streak, man, in that early 90s, 95, 94.
What was there, 4 Honey, I Shrunk or blew up?
Like, they
blew up the baby. They
went crazy.
Yeah.
They got excited with all of those franchises and be like, honey, we're on part 7 of I Shrunk. I Shrunk, I don't know.
I don't know.
I probably got adult at that point. Honey, I shrunk my
but I grew it back. now it's bigger. But I can grow it.
I found out that like he just stopped making movies at a certain point.
So you were wondering what he just fell off. Like,
what the heck happened to that guy? Why? Like, what happened?
Okay.
And I found out today. I learned his wife ended up passing away.
For real?
And when his wife passed away, he had kids that were younger.
Okay.
And he said, you know what?
I'm out.
This whole money thing's cool, and this whole lifestyle of running around and having a good time and all these Hollywood trailers and all this.
But he decided to hang up his coat.
Yeah, he was like, I think I'm actually supposed to be a dad here at this point now.
Really?
And went off and did the noble thing, became a dad, or stayed a dad, if you will.
Right,
and,
absolutely.
And focused on it, if you will.
Instead of running off, memorizing scripts and being Hollywood flown over and this, that, and the other. And
letting the nannies raise them, if you will. That's
pretty respectful.
I mean, it's insanely respectable to where, I mean, even in my former Illuminati-ish area that I lived in.
I say he's not done making movies, though. I mean,
they'll come back when they're 17.
And this is hip hop and R&B, and I'm going to bring up Garth Brooks, but
yeah, of course
he dropped out. He's like, you know what, this whole music industry is starting to get a little shaky. You know, I'm going to take my music and I'm only going to put it in one store. If you want my music, you can only buy it at Walmart, and I'm going to go take care of my kids. And they're going to graduate high school, and then when they're done graduating high school, I'm going to go back out on tour. And that's pretty much what he's done. So what I'm saying with this Rick guy, maybe he will start making movies. Maybe a little Little Shop of Horrors with the plant.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll remake that movie or something.
I can't lie.
So who knows?
The Flintstones.
For real?
Come on, John Goodman.
You want the Flintstones
Rick Moranis.
to come back?
Man, I've been watching it like crazy lately. If I had that on VHS, I'd be even happier. But it's on Netflix, so I'm stuck. You know what I mean? I got to find
You got to do what you got to do.
I got to find the VHS one of that. But yeah, Rick, when I found that out, it was just very much like I sat back and I noticed in today's day and age, and it's almost like you don't have an option, but then it's when you look at life and what's important. Some people do have that option. It's the whole two parents go to work, you toss your kid in the daycare. And I'm talking about not your average individual that are just, you have to do that.
Right.
I'm talking about the ones that do it because they're like, well, I can make $400K a year. And then the mom's like, I can make $400K a year too. Good. Give the baby to Conchita. And she's going to take care of it. And then you've got all these kids in the park. Manhattan, that's the main place to see it all the time. There's just nothing but Caucasian kids with ethnic followers, nannies just sitting there watching them, and then you're like, where's the parents? And you realize, oh, they're out working.
That's the concrete jungle, man. That's what's to be expected. You ain't got time to just hang out and leisure with your family. You in a cubicle, clocking in, clocking out, you know?
See, but that's where I look at it and I go, there is, and again, for some people, I can't say for all, because not everybody's lucky or has that luxury of luck in life to just score that huge salary job and then find a partner that has that huge salary job as well.
Right.
But it's where I sit back and I go, if you're going to bring that next individual into the world,
maybe you should do some compromising.
Maybe you should, be involved a little instead of just be like, I'm going to spit this out. You going to raise this.
But here's the deal. Some people would say, you know what? Hey, let those people do that. That kid's not going to hurt for money. Because there's parents right now that are shooting up heroin, about to send their kid off to school with a lunch with a half-made sandwich,
See, now, that being said is when I look at adults and I see how they were raised, a lot of the people that had screwy backgrounds, I can point to quite a few people that had some crazy backgrounds in our local area.
Right.
I look at them now as men and I go, amazing. You came out of some craziness. A diamond was molded. I mean, Black Angus, I'll shout him out right now. Not to put him on a bus thing.
But he's been doing things
on his own. You know what I mean? Damian Damani, he's out here. These guys are out here doing craziness, coming from craziness.
Right.
And making it. I've seen a lot of kids come from proper, happy, involved, and so on, and they've got everything. I've seen those kids, and I've seen the social craziness afterwards going, wow, you're screwed up. You really came out really screwed up. And it's crazy because you'll see, again, both parents are, I guess, put this in air quotes, there.
Thanks for the air quotes for over the radio.
Well, it works for the radio. The air quotes, they're seeing them in their minds.
But, I mean, your efforts to show me the air quotes was just a little too much.
Didn't help. But, yeah, it's when I see these guys grow up and the adversity in the beginning just being lack thereof. It's like they grow up lost and sad and depressed.
Agreed. Well, because you don't put them through that struggle. I feel like struggle for children is good, and if I was talking to myself at 10 years old, I'd want to slap myself, Of course I wouldn't want that struggle, but now in my 30s, I'm like, man, I needed it.
Right.
You know, I really did, because you know what? I look around my peers and I'm like, you don't know that struggle.
Right.
That's why you're going through this right now. That's why you're hating this, you know, and I'm over here like, I can get through this. This is going to be fine.
I've lived this before.
You know what I mean? And some people don't build the coping skills or the dealing skills, whatever you want to call it,
sure.
you know, and sometimes they just turn to drinking, you know, or they turn to an alternate lifestyle or this, that, and the other. And I don't know. You got to go through the struggle. And hopefully you learn something. Otherwise, you don't. You're part of that percentage that just don't learn, and that's fine. You're just one of them. You know what I mean? But the idea is that keep moving forward. You're gonna get out of it.
I hope. At least, I don't know. I've seen a lot of it continue to occur to where it's now. This is a touchy, awkward topic right now. Here we go.
Yeah, touchy.
I see people get mad with the abortion topic, right? I'm going to kill my baby. And
that's like, a great topic.
How dare you play God? You can't kill that. You can't play God. But then on the other side of the spectrum, I see people that can't get pregnant. They have a tough time.
Right.
And God was like, I'm not going to give you a baby.
Right.
This is not happening. Then they go out and they go, well, I'm going to make my own choice here. I got science.
I got science now.
I get to play God.
Yep.
Just like I get to play God if I get to choose to keep it or not.
Right.
And it's a weird,
that's an opposite side. Wow, that's an opposite side of the coin there.
It's a weird way to look at it, but
so
it's
you're saying
the truth.
Don't judge me if I can get rid of it, if you can create it?
I guess that's basically the idea.
That's heavy.
It's,
I mean, it's a way to look at it. I'm not against that, you know what I mean?
So I sit there and I go, you know, if we're going to make them and pay to make them,
right?
Maybe care after the fact too, because again, I see it happening in the major cities a lot more. Let's say with the affluent characters, where they're like, oh, I can't get pregnant, just pay for it. I can't do it, and when I look at their lifestyle, the stress is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, hey, you know,
maybe you get rid of that stress.
Maybe a little bit of less stress, and you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, you'd be able to conceive.
Yeah,
your body
maybe.
Your body's in control, no joke.
Maybe, and again, touchy topic. I'm not trying to, you know, step on too many toes. Just a couple.
I'm gonna stomp on all of them.
Just he's like, I don't care. I don't care. Again, I guess just pointing out the interestingness of life and the viewpoints that people are like, I want to judge you.
Absolutely.
Perspectives.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We all wear different shoes. Come walk in mine.
Come walk in mine. Agreed. I mean, but when I find out that people made that decision, back to Rick Moranis going, hey, you know, I'm making a choice here.
My wife died. I could let Hollywood raise my kids and I can continue the movie rock star lifestyle, or I could step up and be dead.
Right.
And that's what he chose to do.
Right. And I appreciate the heck out of that. Where it's almost like you see the norm and you see the pattern and you see it ahead of time. Yep. And you go, you know what? I'm good. Yep. I'm not going to go down that road because I've seen a bunch of people do this.
So my football coach growing up, he used to say, ordinary people learn from their mistakes. And I'm like, I get that. And then it took me a long time to learn this one. Extraordinary people learn from other people's mistakes. And it's like there's nothing wrong with just being a normal dude that learns from their mistakes. Like, it's cool. It's part of life.
Right.
But then you're going to reach an age or a certain time in your life where you're like, man, if I just start paying attention to these other people and watching their mistakes, I'm going to start making less mistakes myself.
Dude, I can't agree more. To where my Hove, my Jay-Z, one of his famous lines is, don't tell me how to do it when y'all never did it.
Right. yeah.
To where it's like on a regular basis in my life coming up.
You're not sitting at the table I'm trying to get to, so.
Yeah, so who are you?
Yeah, who are you to tell me?
I can't tell you how many times coming up that I had people going, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that. And
it ain't going to work for you.
And I'd look at the person and be like,
man.
Who are you? Like,
didn't you just stay up all night waiting for the new release of the Call of Duty game? And
you had 7 kids by age like 19, and now you're broke and lost, and you're in your 40s, and you're telling me
that I ain't gonna do it.
That I shouldn't do this or do that, and I'm like, who are you? Did you make it? No. Did I miss something? At which point I took from that, okay, there are people that did make it.
There are people that make it all the time,
and those people have patterns.
Absolutely,
and
patterns.
If you look at those patterns, you can then just follow suit and go, hey, let me navigate through life, because this isn't the first time people have gone through this stuff. This isn't the first time somebody's accidentally gotten pregnant. This isn't the first time somebody's lost their job. This isn't the first time somebody's starting a business. And there's different patterns on all this stuff.
It's been done. It's been dealt with.
So it's like you've got your uncle who'll sit there and be like, oh, you shouldn't invest in that. You should invest in this. And then you've got Warren Buffett. And then you sit there going, should I listen to my uncle?
Or Warren Buffett.
Or should I listen to Warren? This is a tough one.
And by the way, the uncle, he just moved his single-wide trailer behind Mom and Dad's house, and he's helping pay.
No one's asking about that, Manny. No one's asking you to bring that up right now. But that's the thing is you'll sit back. You look outside and you look at the car and you'll be like, you ain't even got a car. You walked here. How you gonna tell me I shouldn't go buy this car?
Right.
Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. And again, I guess
it's separating. It's putting yourself around the audience that you need to be around. I see a lot of motivational speakers that discuss that. Lose one friend. I'm going to tell you that. You've got 5 around you. Lose one of them, and it's going to hurt your feelings. It's going to hurt their feelings. It's going to suck. But get rid of the worst friend you got, the one that ain't doing nothing.
Sorry,
ain't. You gotta go. I'm out.
I'm sorry, Manny. This is our last show.
So the one that is always on the social media complaining about life, you
right.
know, and save me this and help me that, and I can't get this, and he did this, and lose that person and see what that does for your life. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna guarantee you're gonna smile more.
You'll be a happier.
You're gonna smile
person.
more. Simple as that.
Less weights bringing you down.
Right. And then go and find the person that's got the most energy. Might even annoy you a little bit because he's just that sunshiny, you know? And you know what? Go and have lunch with that person and it might rub off on you. Like, unfortunately, that's just a true science and biology behind it. Like-minded. You get around them.
You are who you hang out with.
Exactly.
You're right. You're very correct. You're very correct. That's tough to argue with, to where coming up as a younger guy, I specifically used to point that out, going, I want to make sure that everyone in my circle is out there grinding every day.
Absolutely.
I don't want to hang out with that dude that's like, nah, I'm okay with my busted vehicle. I don't even care. I wanted to be friends with those people that were like, yo, I worked like 80 hours this week. I just put a new turbo on my car, got some rims. I'm moving out. I got my own apartment and so on. And then there were those other kids that were like...
You like hanging out with people with goals.
Yeah,
oh.
Yeah. And then there was those other people, and again, hard to knock some of them because they do have it nice. They just stay with their parents. They living at home. Sorry to you that's listening to this right now. Probably driving your mom's CRV because you had to borrow it because you ain't got your own car. You're probably 23, 24 years old, living in your mom's basement because you didn't want to live upstairs no more so you could act like you have roommates.
But it's cool, man. I'm saving rent.
Yeah.
I'm saving money.
Yeah.
It's cool, bro.
I guess.
You want to come over and play Call of Duty with my roommates?
Exactly. That's where I sit down.
They're going to make dinner. They're going to make it's going to be macaroni and cheese.
Dude,
come
you're
on.
trying to grind on the gaming. It just makes me sad. To where coming up, like Dr. Pinky, the dude was out there grinding out all the time.
Yeah.
And I just loved the idea that it was like, all right, came time to buy a car. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to grind. I'm going to save up and buy me a nice Audi. That's what he did. Just silly, definitely, because you're young and do frivolous, stupid stuff. But the idea was he earned it, worked for it. It was his, willing to grind out to make it happen and continue. Versus the other guy, let's say, sitting at his mom's house going, I'll just use mom's car.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't need my own car. Right now, I have a buddy of mine moving out this way. There's a Cadillac Escalade outside right now.
Right.
He's had it for a minute. Let me borrow it. That's the kind of character I tried to surround myself with, was somebody who was on that grind going, okay, I want better. I want improvement. So I'm coming down to buy a truck. It'll be a used truck, but I want better. So what am I shopping here? Let's make sure it's proper. And that was... I don't know. That was the crew that I'd always try to surround myself with. Always people trying to grind and get somewhere versus I was at mom's house yesterday and she made a killer stew and just like.
It was great. Did you watch the new Walking Dead?
You were there yesterday? Yeah. When are you gonna go visit again? Well, I live there.
See, and I didn't get that upbringing. Uncle Sam got a hold of me fresh out of high school.
So you got out early.
Yeah, and then it was
You're
like
okay,
18,
I
gotta
out.
do work. I'm gonna go work for Uncle Sam. And
See,
then
that's
at that
rare.
point, my schedule was determined for me. You know what I mean? All I had to do was wake up and show up.
Right. I mean, that is a key thing in some people's lives.
that they're lacking
in that age demographic where you're lost.
They don't want to wake up and show up.
Some people need somebody to kick them in the behind.
Agreed.
So I can't lie. It was probably a great move on your end.
Oh, yeah.
Lord knows where you could have ended up.
Man,
you know what I mean?
18, 19 years old, no. I was making all the right choices. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Every single one. Yeah. Yeah. I have a close friend of mine that I always point to and say, if it wasn't for the Marines, he'd be dead right now.
Oh, yeah.
At 18, it was like every chemical that could be found was in his body.
Right.
Hydroatomic orange hair down to the shoulder length, if you will. Just
that's gross.
A lost.
He said orange hair down to.
He was It was called hydroatomic orange. That was the color, like for real. And he was just a guy where he was kind of lost. His dad passed away when he was young.
Right.
Just trying to figure out life, and he realized he looked at himself when he was 18. He goes, man, I don't do something.
Something's
not gonna go right. And
agreed.
Sure enough, thank God he joined. Now, mind you, he's probably like a lot of other people that just joined the military like 2 weeks ago that are like, oh no, what? There's another war?
Oh no!
Oh shoot! I didn't. Oh man!
And so he signed up not knowing that.
Right before 9/11. It was
really?
It was like 2 months before, so it was like just enough time to get out of boot.
So he went to basic training.
Yeah, it was like you had now 9/11.
And then 9/11 happened. Damn.
Yeah. So he very much though was a lost. I don't know where I'm headed, left or right.
Right, but the Marines were able to.
They kicked his behind into the proper way, and
right.
now he's a grown man. He's got a career, makes good money, he's got kids, got a house, and honestly, had he not had that,
could have been.
It would have gone really bad.
Could have turned into a statistic in the street.
Could have gone really bad for him. To where I'm going to put this out there. Thank you to all of our vets. All of our military individuals right now that are having to deal with this craziness of people in suits trying to send you places to
first responders and fire department and police officers.
I appreciate
anybody out there that's willing to live a selfless and a servant life to help others.
It is kind of a crazy concept and idea. The idea that you go to work and then it's like, you might have to die today.
You might
for $18 an hour.
Just so you know.
Like, good luck, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah. No, people don't like looking at it like that. They don't want to look at it like that.
I guess they're out there being heroes. I'm going to be a hero?
No.
I don't know. I appreciate the heck out of our military, and obviously we've been talking about these weird information bubbles before they pop, if you will, and just come right up. Like we talked about Bitcoin before it became into the little bubble.
Right.
We're talking about Bitcoin again while it's on the downside of the bubble.
Just keeping people informed just a little bit. Like we ain't going to,
Because it'll be back.
Yeah,
it'll be back.
It will.
We've been screaming for a minute now, like, why are we at war? And you're like, 15 years. 15 years. And while we've been screaming at this the last couple of weeks, all of a sudden I find out, I haven't been listening to any of the news, nothing. And you're like, I'm hearing we've blown up more people.
Yeah. What was that meme that's circling the internet? That lady posted, said, man, it's a good thing we bombed Syria before Syria bombed us for poisoning Flint, Michigan. And all the drinking water and all that. I'm like,
you brought it up yesterday. You did. You brought that up, man. He's like, we got no water in Michigan. We've got all these crazy problems at home, and then we're out there in all these other places. So she said, I'm just thankful. It says they went around asking people.
Oh, you've got it? You've got
I got
the article?
It. They walked around, and it was one of those like newspaper things where they walked around asking people, do you support the missile attack in Syria?
Cereal. Come on now.
I'm thinking of cereal bowl. In Syria. And the girl responded, I'm just thankful that Syria didn't bomb us for poisoning the children of Flint or gassing natives at Standing Rock.
Wow.
Yeah, to where I guess we might have done some.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, exactly, and it's.
People, here's the truth about it, man. A lot of people don't like looking in their own backyard. It's the truth about it.
Especially us, though. I mean,
I wish I had something more to say on it, but people will turn a blind eye, and it hurts my feelings. But here's the truth about it: I do it. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, you be honest. You turning a blind eye. I mean, outside of that, you could be calling Flint, Michigan's, mayors and finding out what's going on.
I say yes. I agree.
Or we could send them water. I don't know.
I agree, but I've recently had a thing where I've gotten annoyed, going, it wasn't. I started getting annoyed with the military thing a little more recently when I started just looking at just monetary issues in our country and mental health issues. And it was more when the day came when everybody's like, guns, we've got to stop the guns. There's too many guns. Oh, my God, stop the guns. And
Are you done yet?
And again, I just sit back and go, none of these guns laws have ever affected any of these criminals or people or individuals that feel like doing something crazy and wild. I don't care how many more laws you keep putting the laws. It's not going to affect. But I sat back and I just start looking at it and I go, wow, we come out onto the streets and we're waving flags and we're like, stop the guns. But we're at war for 15 plus years, sending missiles to other countries. No, we're not out in the streets over that. We just, no, that's.
Don't worry about that, because here's the deal.
Normal. We're going to sweep that under.
The idea of freedom is very powerful.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, man. I'm ready to call an audible and get some music going because we've been talking enough.
We have been talking enough. I agree. We've been talking a minute.
Colorado Springs, I'm sorry. But if you really, participate, join the Manny and DrChurch Show group. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We'll get involved, and we'll bring it up.
Possibly. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. We might not. But let's go into some, I got some Ja Rule and some other actual old school hip-hop coming up.
I think we got the darkness coming in soon, too.
Ooh, yeah. That'd be nice.
Maybe we'll get a woman's perspective.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Colorado Springs, keep it locked. Just blazing.
Blazing 98.5.
You're gonna put a smile on your face.
We see you smiling.
You know you can't help it. Just smile.
Blazing 98.5.
I heard alligators are homosexual crocodiles. That's a weird study. Anyway.
You need to stop watching those documentaries on YouTube.
Back to the Manny and DrChurch Show.
Heyo.
Heyo, good morning.
Hey, you got your buttons right over there?
Got my buttons all right. I'm all
good?
set. Everybody's got their mics on.
All right.
It's a good kind of morning, Manny. It's a good
It
kind
is.
of morning. We've been talking about the Today I Learned, if you will, was part of our
TIL
Yeah.
on Reddit.
Yeah, and I just gave you just a couple of them, and then I said, why am I not looking at this deeper
Okay.
and
Do
just
a little bit
searching
more
TIL?
research.
Yeah, while I'm, oh my goodness! As soon as I start, I'm like, oh, topic. Oh my goodness. So today I learned, and I don't know if any of this is true. Do your research.
'Cause it's
but
the internet.
It's the internet. We don't know, but this sounds pretty real, and you would possibly know more about this than me. Maybe.
I don't know anything.
Probably not. So TIL, Grand Theft Auto 5 cost $265 million to make. It was the largest budget of any video game at the time. But it turned around and made $1 billion in first 72 hours. I don't know about $1 billion, but it made a heck of a lot of money. I know that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, to where the budgets are nutty on these things, right?
Well, the reality is that in today's age, we are. What if I told you that movies are taking second stage? Would I be wrong?
I would.
Because here's the deal.
No, I think you're right.
They're contracting out actual professional actors and
yeah,
voice actors
I've heard
and stuff
that.
like that. I mean, what was it? Kevin Spacey? He was in Call of Duty a good grip ago.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, they just do it. They render, and then they put you in the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot of celebrities that have been in games. What's the one? My Name is Earl. Who's that guy? The really obnoxious guy.
Oh, I know.
Earl. Who's Earl?
Yeah,
What's his
Earl.
name?
I don't know his real name. In
He
real
was
life, but
in. He was in a Tony Hawk game. You know what I mean? He was one of your instructors there
They
for a
just
while.
randomly put him in
So
there.
I mean, over the while, it actually goes into a lot of legal stuff, and I'm not going to get into this right now. But the artists are wanting more. The pirating aspect of things, they're wanting more laws and more rules put on video games. They used to not have this worry. Like they're bringing laws from Hollywood to video games.
Because the pirating and all that happened in Hollywood.
There's other stuff involved, not just pirating, but it has
Sure.
to do with, like I said, there's more.
Stealing
Do your
content,
research, right?
yeah.
Stealing content,
Sure.
Copyrighted content,
Right.
Nonetheless,
Wow.
and so from that, I feel like that the video games are getting the main stage.
I think you might be right, because, I mean, even game releases and movie releases, the game releases are starting to be where they're just as big and make actually more money, I would say, now than the movie release date, if you will. And you got people taking off a days of work after it happens, like Call of Duty 14's coming out next week.
Well, yep, going to call in sick.
Calling in sick all
It's like they're
week.
not going to Woodstock. It's not Ozfest. You know, they're staying up for video games. It's a trip. No, I get it though. You know, it's a different way of life. You were talking about the big cities and how mommies and daddies just pay for nannies and whatnot because they're making the $150K a year each.
Right.
You know, well, at their leisure, what are they going to do? They're going to sit there and they're going to go buy their nice big old TV and their nice video game system and throw down and travel to far off reaches of the world, you know, because they can't leave the concrete jungle.
They stuck.
You know what I mean? So we're putting ourselves into that position.
We're turning into that movie. Was that Surrogates?
Yeah.
Eventually, we're just going to be sitting there, just living other people's lives in real life, just sitting in our homes. Just
There's people already doing it.
super heavy with our little VR headsets on.
I mean, I love to think that it allows the person who's the quadriplegic or, you know, the person who can't move or go out into sunlight or something along those lines, it allows them to live. Like, I love that idea.
Right.
You know, but then again, we're also abusers. And as humans, you know, are known for, like, if it's good and we like it, oh, give me more.
Yeah, more.
You know what I mean? And so
No, but I
once we
like
take
that. I just recently saw that where it was people in the hospital. They were giving them the little headsets.
Absolutely.
Like, you want to walk down your old hometown
Go check it
road
out.
one
Yep.
more time, like, or people on their deathbed type of thing. They were like, we're going to
Absolutely.
bring you back to your hometown and you can 360 camera right down Main Street, USA of
Kids with
Wisconsin.
cancer
Yeah.
getting to walk underneath dinosaurs.
That's great.
You know, stuck in a bed for the past 3 months.
But then
I mean,
we go too far.
and then you've got the guy that's got the robot linked to the headset that makes sure that he's, you know, real satisfied.
Yeah.
Like, no. You can't. We don't know when to stop. And so we don't. And we make these things, and, you know, it's history. You can look it up on the internet.
Wow. Wow. So back to the Reddit. Today I learned. So that's the fun video game aspect of Today I Learned, to where, my God, they're fun. Today I learned almost 1 in 4 people with tattoos regret it, meaning about 7.5 million Americans.
I think my dad tried to catch me on that. He saw my tattoos sticking out of my shirts and stuff like, oh, you still got them tattoos, huh? How you like them tattoos? I'm like, yeah, they're mine.
They're
I was like, how are
mine,
your
Dad.
tattoos? Yeah, they're mine.
Ah.
Yep.
You know what I find funny about it is that, like, what I love is it's become such a norm. It used to be only, you know, sailors and military guys, and that was it. That was the only people you'd occasionally see with it.
Construction, tough guy.
Rare.
You know,
like, I feel like,
biker.
yeah, exactly. And
Right.
then it slowly started to bleed more into the mainstream, where those Chinese tattoos.
I'm going to go with the tramp stamp. As soon as that happened.
I'd say they were both about the same
Right,
era.
yeah.
It was like,
as soon as that happened, the race was on.
And what was the other one?
Everybody
The,
the tribal band.
the tribal band,
The barbed wire
the
band.
barbed wire.
Yes.
Manny's got
Classic.
it all. Exactly. So
Classic.
it was like, as you just saw more and more. And so what I find humorous about it, it was kind of like, you know, you're the man, right? And you're like, I'm the man. I got these awesome artwork, just dragons and lions and tigers and bears all over this, tatted
Really?
up beautifully. And then some fool comes up with some messed up looking crookedness that was done with like I don't even know, like my buddy jokes around, but he really got a tattoo with a VCR tattoo machine.
Okay,
thing.
they used a VCR.
Yeah, and it somehow made a tattoo gun out of a VCR thing. I don't know.
You can give tattoos with a needle and thread.
But the idea being is that the corniest person can go out and get a tattoo now, and it just makes it.
It kind of demasculines it.
It's like
or
you're in the cool group, and then like someone corny
okay.
shows up and is like, "I'm in there too," and you're like, "Man,
Yeah, I get that.
why'd they have to go get a tattoo on the side of their
Bro,
head now?"
it's like my combat action badge. Okay, and that's an award from the military.
Right.
Okay, it's called a CAB, and infantry, they get the combat infantry badge and so forth and so on. But I went outside the wire every single day. My job was to go look for bombs.
Sure.
I was route clearance. It was lead truck gunner, had a 50 cal. I was the first one there scanning the roads.
right,
And I found a lot of bombs. That's the truth about it. I was there every day.
right.
And then I get back home and I find out that the same award that they handed me, they also gave to the guy in finance that never left the fob, and he heard a mortar land next to the defect. And I'm like, oh, sweet.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm glad I got this award.
That's
You know what I
great.
mean? So,
Thanks.
watering down.
Thanks.
It happens.
Today I learned. I'm loving these little things here.
Yeah, today I learned.
It's pretty good. I can't lie to it. Again, the tattoos just, it's like, again, I'd want to get one, but then I look at sometimes that corny person and I'm just like, I don't be liking their crew.
So then don't get a tattoo. Get like a silicone injection. And I'm not saying
Go
you
that
need
next
to get,
route.
You don't need breasts. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
But there's people that I've seen stars injected in the tops of their hands.
That's healthy.
I've
Wow.
seen silicone bumps
Seen that.
put in the foreheads where
The
it looked like the
horns.
horns were coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew a guy that had an iguana tattooed on his arm that kind of wrapped around, and then on the scales on the spine of the iguana, they were raised. So it gave texture to his tattoos.
That's painful.
So maybe that's what you do is you get a tattoo and then we inject you with silicone.
Maybe you hope your parents hugged you a bunch as a youth, and then you don't have to have this
Like,
made
I don't
for
need
pain.
tattoos.
I don't need.
Bro,
Oh my
I
gosh.
saw. I wish I could share the video, but I saw a kid not handle one the other day. It was a video. Kid was sitting in the chair, and he was literally upset and mad at the tattoo artist that he was bleeding. I'm like, bro, you're there. He's stabbing you. Like that's how the
It's
ink
a
gets
needle,
in there.
goes in and out of this.
Like, what are you doing?
Why am I bleeding?
And
Oh, my
no
God.
joke, dude. He was not handling it well.
I want my money back.
His mom was sitting there in the room. It was like, come on now.
Wow.
It's one of those guys we were talking about. You know, they were 30 and still living with mom. Anyway,
Yeah,
no, he's
it's-
gonna be one of those people.
Ouch.
So.
Ouch. Back to.
Did we got another?
Oh yeah. Oh
Tyler?
no. I'm gonna keep going with this.
Okay.
This is too much fun. I'm having fun with this. Today
Okay.
I learned when pimps get arrested, their cash can legally be confiscated, but not their jewelry. This is why pimps wear lots of jewelry so that they can repawn it for bail money. I don't know if that's true.
Today I learned.
We're gonna have to ask. I think I might know some people here.
Today I learned.
Today I learned of Heart Attack Grill,
Ooh, I've
heard
heard
of that?
rumor.
a Las Vegas restaurant where people over 350 pounds eat free. 3 people have
No.
died while eating there, and the only vegan option on their menu is cigarettes.
What? Thanks, Vegas.
Thank you, Heart Attack Grill. Today I learned.
learned.
This is amazing. Today I learned President Harry S. Truman was so poor after his presidency that Congress had to enact a law to give him a pension. President Herbert Hoover was the only other living ex-president who took the pension as well, despite his health, to avoid embarrassing Truman.
Wow.
That don't happen today.
No.
No, you come in broke, you leave gangster rich.
Really?
I mean, come on, look at the Clintons.
Okay. Yeah.
I
You
shouldn't
win.
even talk too loud, you know what I mean?
Be careful.
Yeah, I should be careful. I'll
yeah,
walk-
no, today I learned.
Today I learned. Anyway,
right,
next
moving on.
topic.
We don't talk
next-
about the Clintons.
No, next
All right.
we love them. Woo!
Yeah.
Today I learned in 1958, a white girl kissed 2 African American boys aged 9 and 7 on the cheeks. The 2 boys were arrested, detained for 6 days without access to their parents or legal counsel, and were severely beaten by the police.
And people think that we haven't come along.
The boys were detained for a total of 3 months.
That's disgusting.
1958.
I'm glad things have changed. At least
Okay.
a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Just a little.
Yeah.
A little.
Progress. That's all we're looking for.
A
here.
little.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, no. I'll put out my Today I Learned. I
Oh, yeah?
showed you that video. There was
you
a
show me?
video going viral of
Which
a
one?
New Jersey State police officer putting his fingers
Did I see that?
into the anus
No, I
of a
didn't watch
man
that. I
who was
heard it.
pulled over, bro. You heard the screams.
That cop did what?
Cop said, "Oh, I smell weed." So they pull the guy out of the car. They start grabbing at his area in the front.
Okay.
Then when they're done with that, they decide, "Oh, it ain't in there. We going up the back."
We're going to check your...
Right up in the knuckle area
Hey-o.
region, just
Are you serious?
yeah, dude. And he's screaming like, "Ah!
I hope this is
like, ah!" And then he's like, "I'm getting raped." He starts screaming, "I'm getting raped," because he was a finger was
Right.
being inserted into
On the
his
side of the
anus
road?
over the smell of flour.
On the side of the road.
Side of the road
Where?
in New Jersey,
Bro.
the Devil State, the Nazi state, as I like to call it.
Ugh.
Yeah, Satanville. Anyway,
Don't travel.
don't
there.
go to New Jersey. Ugh.
All right.
All right.
Today
so
I learned.
Today I learned a group of undercover Detroit police posing as drug dealers tried to arrest another group of undercover police posing as drug buyers. Yeah.
Wow.
That's communication level right there in the...
If that doesn't explain the cracks in the system.
Could you imagine that? A bunch of DEA agents getting arrested by a bunch of local cops.
You get down. You get down.
I'm a cop. No, I'm a
cop. Wait.
I'm an...
No, you a cop.
Wait.
Hold on.
Someone's lying.
Let's just shoot first.
Yeah, that's about right. I guess that didn't go down.
No.
But anyway, today I learned the FBI mounted a 4-year-long undercover surveillance operation to nab Jared the Subway Guy Fogel after he made some inappropriate comments about middle school girls to a female reporter.
Wow.
Worth every damn penny.
Absolutely. He's
Fry
getting his
that
own
punk,
foot long.
man.
He's getting his own foot long.
Yeah, fry him. I hate him. I'm sorry. Oh, man. And pour that, what's that jeweler, Jared's? That's got to be horrible for them.
Oh, right.
It could only be Jared's. And they're like, oh, I hope it's not Jared's. Like, they must have
Can I
taken
get
a
a foot long
dip.
BLT?
I would have sued. Yeah, like, I would have sued if I was Jared's owner. All right, today I learned. Here we go. And I'm not reading any of these. I'm just reading them out. So let's hope they're all good.
Yeah.
And again, we don't know if any of this is real.
Because it's on the internet.
It's on the internet, but they all sound really fun and possibly real. So who
Right.
knows? This one was funny. I read this one. Actually, I just told you I didn't read these, and then actually this one I did read. Today I learned on the set of the
Who
Prince
are you?
Sativa.
Oh.
That's my excuse. That's what
okay.
happened. Today I learned on the set of The Princess Bride, Andre the Giant once let out a 16-second flatulent, I think would be the proper word to say, and brought production to a standstill. Nobody said anything except director Rob Reiner, who said, "Are you okay, Andre?" To which Andre replied, "I am now boss." So I love me some Princess Bride. And,
Dude, a great movie. And Andre the Giant, man, a man of his own legend.
I could see that happening. He's huge.
Yeah, they said that he almost couldn't get drunk. You know, like he had to drink so much alcohol. To
Gallons probably.
Right.
He's huge.
But he could pull it off. Imagine trying to carry that upstairs.
Wow.
Andre the Giant. What was he?
Just hammered and you got to bring him up now.
He was north 7 foot, wasn't he?
He was huge.
Yeah.
That guy was, and if not, it was because we were 11. But either
Actually,
way,
if I remember,
huge.
Do your own research. I think HBO just launched a documentary on him.
Really?
I think they just released it.
Oh, that'd
Check
be
that
a good
out.
one.
I haven't seen it.
That'd be a
Would
good
like
one.
to.
All right. So today I learned Bill Gates has given away over $28 billion since 2007, resulting in an estimated 6 million plus lives saved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's math. Those are just numbers.
That's crazy.
Saving lives.
That's crazy when
Isn't
you
that
think
weird?
about it. That's pretty crazy when you think about it. Like,
Well, when you're at that level of income, isn't that what should be done?
dude, I agree all day long because it gets to a point where you go, how many new cars do you need?
Right. This yacht, it can only sail me around the ocean so many times.
Exactly. And it just gets to a point where it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Once you figure out the math, how to self-sustain, your current lifestyle, the rest of that money.
I mean, and you're on the
just kind of
internet.
there.
You invented some computers. I mean, you've seen that there's children in Africa's and other countries that are thirsty, possibly. And
You think so?
maybe there's children in the country of Michigan, right? The Flint, Michigan.
Ah, the Flint, Michigan children.
The country of Flint, Michigan are thirsty. The children. They're thirsty.
I'm parched,
They're
sir.
parched, thirsty children.
parched.
It's terrible. Terrible. Anyway, back to it. Today I learned that Medal of Honor recipients are entitled to much more than the medal, including a $1,300 monthly bonus, 10% retirement raise, and may wear their uniform even after they are out of the service. That's interesting.
Did you know Chef Boyardee is a Medal of Honor recipient?
No,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
For canned goods sent during the war in the early days. Yep.
Huh.
Check it out.
That's pretty interesting. Was he there serving, or you don't know? Just definitely he got it for sending the canned goods as the main.
Yep. Check it out on the
Wow,
internet. Chef
pretty
Boyardee.
Cool. All right, here we go. This is going to be weird. So you remember Malcolm in the Middle?
Okay, today I learned
So today I learned
about Malcolm in the Middle.
Malcolm in the Middle. So Frankie Muniz.
Yeah,
Muniz. Okay, I didn't know who
Okay.
his name was, so I just was like, well, let me put out
Close
Malcolm in the
enough.
Middle. He suffers from long-term memory loss, and he doesn't remember being on Malcolm in the Middle. That's
No.
got to be weird.
Maybe he's
You
just
have
just
memory
oppressing
things.
it. Maybe he's oppressing it.
You find lots of bombs. You have memory.
Oh, yeah.
Issues, right? So I get that. This guy, but
He
I mean,
doesn't remember like what
Shoot.
6 seasons?
I guess that's a major part of your life, I would think, to just not remember like 6 years worth of your life. Like you have memory loss, but you don't have it to where
Right.
like age like 7 to 15, there's just a blackout window of like, nah, I forgot that part because life, no. Wow, that's got to be rough. Anyway, here we go. Today I learned of the White Rose, which was a nonviolent Nazi resistance group made of college students and professors. It started by releasing pamphlets against the Nazi Party. It ended with the execution of 6 students and the professor.
Wow, you're definitely informing us of some
Making
really
us
great
happy
news.
today.
Thanks.
Good morning, Colorado Springs.
You didn't want to end this today. I learned with something a little bit
Manny and
cheerier,
DrChurch show.
a little less Nazi.
Uh,
Come on,
All right,
give
I'm
me
trying to
one
give you
more.
something
one more.
good.
One
All right,
more.
this one's a little better. Today I learned a riddle from 1688 goes, if a man born blind can feel the differences between shapes such as spheres and cubes, could he, if given the ability, distinguish those objects by sight alone? I don't understand what that means. But in 2003, the riddle was solved when 5 people had their sight restored through surgery. They could not.
Really?
Oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
So you're wondering if a blind person was able to get their sight back, would they know what they
the heck
see?
they're touching
and, yeah.
versus seeing it? Could they go, that's a ball, without
Right.
touching it? And no, they couldn't. That's interesting. But they got their sight back, so that's a happy part of that story. Not that
Yeah,
they
that's
couldn't
cool.
figure
Let's
it.
get
Did that
into
help?
some music, man. No, it didn't.
No.
Let's get some music.
Ah, Wu-Tang coming
Some
up
Wu-Tang.
next.
All right, so even if our show depresses you, we play good music.
That's what I'm saying. Wu-Tang
Keep it locked.
Clan.
There's Blaze in 98.5.
This is Justin Bua, and you're listening to the Manny and DrChurch Show.
I've been microdosing sawdust and metal shavings in my Cheerios to slow balding. My God, it's doing a number on my intestines, dude.
I got a feeling that's not going to work well.
Yeah. Well, we're back on. Welcome back to the Manny and DrChurch show. Man, we've been.
You've unlocked a wealth of information.
Oh my gosh.
So you just learned about the internet.
Oh my gosh.
You've just found out
It's
that
basically
the internet
what's-
has like a whole bunch of information on it.
Yeah, I'd say that's.
Where'd you find it?
That's about what's going down.
Where did you find the information?
So I've been on the Reddit, I guess.
The
would be
Reddit?
Reddit, to where I've been.
So you read it somewhere.
Yeah, no, the name of the site is Reddit.
Oh.
Reddit.
You read it on Reddit?
And what I realized is every once in a while it'll just come up and say TIL, and I'm like, what does that mean? Till.
All these cool acronyms from
Till.
the hip kids.
Right.
Right.
And so I started looking in, and I'm like, oh, I mean, today I learned, and then I'm just learning.
TIL stands for Today I Learned.
Right. So whether
Okay,
or not
thanks.
any of this is true,
'Cause
I
it's
don't
the
know.
internet.
I might be filling my brain with nonsense and
Sharing it with Colorado Springs.
exactly, and
Aw,
just
you're so
perpetuating
nice.
just
This is perfect.
horror. But some of it might be true to where it's like it sounds pretty neat. Like here we go. Today I learned about perpetual stew. So common in the Middle Ages. Perpetual stew. It was a stew that was kept constantly stewing in a pot and rarely emptied. It was just constantly replenished with whatever items they could throw in it.
Okay.
So like you just start it on there and then just today comes someone comes in with some potatoes, you're like toss it in. Next day they come home with some fire ants, toss them in. I don't
No, probably not fire ants.
But I mean like I found a goat. I don't
No,
know.
okay. I've done it with stews, with rice, and I don't know if they're called a gumbo or whatever. There's names for all this stuff, but all you're doing is adding like a beef broth or a chicken broth to rice, with some Polish sausage and some beef hamburger, and then you throw in some pork later on, but you add more chicken and you know what I mean, the broth, you know what I mean.
So it's
that
like
way
after you've eaten like a bowl
half
or
of
two.
it, half of the,
Toss
you
some
just
more
add
in
some
there.
more stuff to it.
Yeah.
You want to taste a little bit more like chicken, you just add some more chicken broth to it, and then some, bits of shredded chicken or something.
See, that's surprising. I would have thought my
it is
family would have done
consumable.
that.
It is consumable.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it stretches
Absolutely.
the
yeah,
budget
pulls
as well.
Yeah, pulls the meal a little bit longer.
Interesting. See, today I learned, Manny.
There you go.
Today I learned. This is a whole learning show. Because we're doing a giant learning show today.
That's great.
Today I learned.
We do what we want.
Exactly. Do what you want. Today I learned this one. It is illegal under German law to deny the Holocaust, which is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Mel Gibson's dad would be arrested. Allegedly.
Wow.
Allegedly, yes.
So in Germany, you can't deny the Holocaust.
Right, you can't say that never happened.
Well, I don't think anybody
Be like,
should do that.
We'll lock you up in jail. I mean, with today, it's always this conspiracy theory and, it's fake and it's flat earth and this and that.
Yeah, don't take it away from the people that suffered.
Yeah, no, I sat back and said I knew somebody's mom from concentration camp, met the woman. She passed away now, but had stories like crazy. Not fun. Anyway, today I learned, onward, today I learned Robin Williams wanted to play Hagrid in the Harry Potter films. Really? Yeah. But was turned down because J.K. Rowling and director Chris Columbus only wanted British and Irish actors. I didn't know that.
I mean, that's kind of rude.
Yeah. Like, why?
Where's the equal opportunity in that?
Yeah. That's not right. Mama.
No, but I think they nailed it with the Harry Potter cast.
I think they saw Mrs. Doubtfire and they were just discriminating.
Oh.
Yeah. Microaggressions turned into
let's not turn it into something it ain't.
Oh.
All right. Today I learned.
Today I learned
how to stay my own lane and not blow things out of proportion. Okay.
Today I learned after his wife was denied water by upper caste people, Indian laborer Bapuro Tajne managed to dig her a well in under 40 days and ended up discovering a water source capable of sustaining his entire village. Wow.
Well, sometimes you got to do it yourself.
Which that's the thing in India, caste systems and like the high versus the low, to where it's like kind of like the older ones. I'm a knight. I'm a lord.
So you're saying
you are a peasant.
There's people of prestige, if you will, over there. Like, okay, there's people below you, the peasants and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. Not good. No. Today I learned. All right, this one I'm skimming it. I actually already knew this one. Today I learned that Tupac's godmother, Assata Shakur, was a Black Panther, Black Liberation Army member, revolutionary, and bank robber. She was convicted for the murder of a police officer, escaped prison, found asylum in Cuba, and is still alive with a $2 million American bounty on her head. Ooh, I wonder what's that like now that we're allowed to go over there. Uh-oh.
Hey, just check her Facebook status.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I knew that about Shakur, though.
That's
it was
a
funny.
lot, man.
Well,
to have a mom that influential or that, that loud, I guess that's a way to define it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then he grows up and pulls the music industry by its shorts and just says, hey, you're going to listen to me.
Right.
And then, that's pretty heavy.
It's super heavy to where, what I also find interesting about his story, though, it bothers me, is that like Tupac, you ask anybody, Biggie or Tupac, Biggie or Tupac. What if I'm like, they're both the same? Shut up.
You want to solve it.
What if they're both from Harlem? How about that?
Uh-oh.
What if your West Coast is actually East Coast? What if Tupac is from Harlem? What if he was born in Harlem? What if his family's from New York? Oh my gosh, it just destroyed the West Coast.
Is that a thing?
Not really, but that's real. For real, I'm not joking.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Tupac was born in Harlem. So this whole East Coast, West Coast thing, I'm always just like, we all won. It's the same thing. It's all
right. It was mainstream media.
Gotta
getting loud.
Sell them records.
Gotta sell them, man.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, so he comes from an era.
Mom.
Yeah, his godmother and then his mom too, to where his mom was big into it. Godmother a little more obviously intense.
Right.
But they were big into the movement, if you will, and change and social movement and change. So he obviously just picked up the torch and kept it moving.
Absolutely.
Today I learned in 2006 in Portland, Oregon.
I know where that is.
I call it Oregon.
Huh?
Instead of Oregon.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't mess up.
Well, when I went there, I asked people, how do you say this? It's kind of like Colorado.
People say it different.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
All right. I get confused.
Oregon.
Anyway, Oregon. Hired a hitman. A man in Portland, Oregon hired a hitman to kill his 51-year-old wife. His wife ended up killing the hitman with her bare hands.
Whoa.
Yeah. When Susan...
I think the husband probably could have just waited another 10 years.
Right.
She probably would have.
He didn't realize she was so gangster. When Susan Kuhnhausen had her hands on his neck, she asked him, "Tell me who sent you here, and I'll call you an effing ambulance." Yeah.
Well, so then I'm assuming he told her, and then she just killed him anyways?
She killed him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
weird?
Huh.
All right.
That's pretty raw, bud.
Today, I learned United Airlines, of which I do frequent their airline quite a bit. United Airlines has repeatedly killed more pets per year than any other U.S. airline. Nice work. Nah, I'm with that. Good work.
Wait, no,
Nice.
I don't think we're supposed to be clapping for that.
Because you hate dogs? No,
No. No.
And he's a dog lover and has more than one. That was a joke. I'm playing.
No, I think that would be bigger news.
Ah.
That was my response to that.
Yeah, maybe
You know what I mean? Like, you would think that would be a bigger thing on Twitter.
Maybe they pay to keep that off of Twitter.
I don't know.
You can do that.
You can?
They've got websites where I used to hear it all the time. I don't want to give them too much of a plug, but it was like a reputation website, and you basically went on, and if you Googled your name and it came up weird,
Okay.
you'd go on their website, and they'd go, no, we got you fixed. No worries.
We'll clean that up.
We'll clean it up. No worries.
So to give an example, you know, if the guy's name is Larry Long, Johnson, and he goes to Google himself, and all of a sudden something's very inappropriate, he can go to this website, and now when you Google his name, you wouldn't see all the perverse
Remind
things
me
that could be
when we're off the
linked to
air
that.
to revisit that exact topic and word you just said, because that'll be fun. I'm going to turn this blinker left before we continue on, and I'm going to say this show is brought to you by Warp Zone Gaming.
Some video games.
That's right. It is in the back of the Speakeasy Vape Lounge, 2508 East Bijou. Retro video games.
Game room and back.
That's right.
That's my job. I'm a video game comic book curator. You need a game room, I'll square you away.
He's got it. He's got you covered. He's got it. If you're an interpretive dancer with flags and you need
I'll
a place,
watch. I won't judge.
Right.
You know?
You need a place to perform. Not in the game room, honestly. No. No. You know what? We can't even put this out there to you, so I'm apologizing.
They
but
could dance on the dance floor in the club.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
They
so
could
if
do
you want to
whatever
go
they
to
want out in the
Speakeasy,
club
you can
area.
do the
Yeah.
dancing part.
Club
Okay.
area, I don't care. Game room, we play games.
More
and we
games.
talk, hang
Okay.
out.
Appreciate that. So if
Yeah.
you want to come play video games, all the old school retro games you can think of, or the ones that matter,
The ones that matter.
the ones that matter, they are there in the back of the Speakeasy Vape Lounge at 2508 East Bijou. This show is also brought to you by Lab Builder Supplies. They provide gloves for the trimming society, if you will, in the local area, to where there are quite a few people who have learned that there are gloves that are affordable. And to where this week, coming up for the week of 420, there's a sale.
Really? A
Yay!
420 sale on gloves.
That's right.
So if you a trimmer or if you a volunteer veterinarian.
Right. $4.20 gets you a box of gloves. Box of gloves.
Really?
$42 for a case of gloves. That's great savings. That's a real deal thing.
You've told me the other prices of the other gloves, and they're normally about $12 to $15, even
Yeah.
$20 sometimes.
Yep.
And you're saying you're going to be able to give them under $5.
For this week only, 420. It's this week. Lab Builder Supplies, 719-722-4181.
One more time.
And 719-722-4181.
Can you do that in Italian, please?
No.
No.
And I also have to say, Dirty Game Studio is providing this wonderfulness here to where shout
They
out
keep the lights
Damian
on.
Damani, KO, all of you. We appreciate the heck out of you giving us this crazy opportunity, if you will, for us to sit here and tickle Colorado Springs ear holes.
And inform and educate a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a full learning show today to where I got to say, I'm a talk radio guy, and if I had tuned in hearing all this randomness of, like, where did Rick Moranis go and just all these other different things, I would have stayed tuned in.
Yeah, but, I mean, you are just kind of reading off Reddit.
I am.
And that's
I am.
cheating.
Is it?
I don't know. Maybe you should do your own research.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
That is my own research. That's as far as it goes, people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I find my topics online and I go with it. And
Absolutely.
I don't know if any of these are real. That's the best part about it.
You find the headlines on the internet so they don't have to.
Exactly. And then you can do your own research to see if we're lying.
True.
You know what I mean?
True story. This is a show.
Does hummus and guacamole stop and slow balding?
Or eczema. Or the yellowing of your toes. Which one?
That's
Nobody
a good
knows.
question. It's good. Do your research, people. We give you these tidbits and tips. Manny gives you the life hacks of the cereal. Combine the two cereals, and you don't have to scrape up the roof of your mouth.
Captain Crunch and Life cereal.
Is it
you
real?
Combine the two.
Do your research, people. Do your research.
Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and DrChurch show. We're going to get you into some music.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Oh, man.
What we got?
I'm going to play a song that some people were pissed off by,
Okay.
and then others were okay with. And then I'm going to go down an old school classic
So
hit.
you're going to rip off the Band-Aid first and then give the good music?
Yeah.
That's a horrible
Listen,
strategy in radio. You never want to play bad music.
They're like, don't tune out. Listen, if you tune out, you won't continue with this great Today I Learned topic.
True. So keep it locked. This Blaze in 98.5.
Come on now.
Check it out, party people. It's the Guard Body Gold.
Sonny T back.
It's Camp Low, right here, locked down on the Manny and DrChurch show.
Come on now.
Where we talking to?
The Manny and DrChurch.
Low.
Yo. This Lil Y.
Sonny Super Geeky Sway, hailing all the way from Black Hollywood. We got it locked right here on Blazing 98.5 FM. Keep it locked.
The Get Down Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been soaking my elbows in guacamole and bananas, dude, and it stops the ashiness for real. Like
From your does
like
it
a
tighten
month.
up the skin around your weenus?
It's weird. It does right around that area. Yeah.
Around the weenus in your elbow.
We're back on.
Oh.
Welcome back to the Manny and DrChurch show. Good morning.
Hey-o.
Good morning. Today we've been learning a lot.
Today I learned on World Star there's a kid hitting a bong in his lecture at school. Is that what they're doing in college?
Wow, like in the middle of the lecture, he's just
Yeah,
like,
they
nah.
got a bong ripping right there in the middle of their lecture in college. I don't know where they're at, what college it is, but
He's like,
thanks, World Star.
don't mind me. I just got to take a quick rip here.
Today I
Well,
learned. That's what they're doing in college. At least it's not Tide Pods.
well, it's a perfect segue, if you will, Manny. The next
Okay.
today I learned is that there have been 9 different studies on DARE. Do you remember DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education?
Oh,
Remember
that's
the
what it
DARE?
stood for?
Yeah, nobody
Oh.
knows what that was. No, yeah, it just said DARE.
Yeah,
and
they dare not to
bringing-
do drugs.
They like,
Yeah,
I
I have
dare
a shirt.
you. I dare you to look at what's in this box. I'm gonna show you and tell you that they do wonderful things, and dare you not to try to want to
Like,
do
don't
them.
do it.
Yeah, all agree. All of these 9 different
It's horrible.
studies agree that the problem does nothing or worsens the problem. To where again, you're in grade school, you got a guy coming in with a box going, that's right, if you take this little substance on the left, you're going to see unicorns and rainbows and possibly live in a van down by the river. And you're like, I could live
You say
in a
something.
van? That's awesome. And then
unicorns?
like, and unicorns, and then I'd be like living right by the water like everyone wants to when they grow up. Oh my God, I'm going to try that stuff. And
So what you're saying is that dare might be a bad message?
I mean, it probably just gives people a list of like, I know where I'm heading next, you know? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. That's
Maybe
like
not.
saying that weed's a gateway drug then.
No, I'm just saying is like if you don't, all right, if you don't know
It's the
about
same
it.
medicine.
I say if you don't know about it. Like my daughter came home and you know my stance on drugs, okay?
yeah.
Where there are no
There
morals.
are no morals to them, right?
Okay, they just
Basically.
have they're chemicals. They're
Right.
pharmacological reactions. So when my daughter comes home saying that there's bad drugs, Dad, I'm like, actually, no, they're
There's
just
bad people.
chemicals. There's bad people. Yeah, I can tell you that. And it's weird because again, they're telling my child,
There's people with high addiction personalities. There's people who have low standards and will to better themselves on a daily,
Correct.
And when that's exposed, bad things can happen when they combine all that stuff.
And individualized circumstances, me having a normal Thursday might be you going through just complete hell. You know what I mean? And it's like, so yeah, it might require some kind of a chemical to get you through versus me who might not have such a rigorous, crazy,
and everybody's
insane
cool with it as long
scene.
as it's a beer. Everything's cool with it as long as it's a beer. That chemical reaction inside you, as long as you don't become the alcoholic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're getting cool as well with the chemicals as long as it's from a guy in a white coat. So
you're talking about the
you're
lab.
if you're on the meth,
okay,
and it's called Adderall without the methyl 6 group, you know what I mean?
It's cool.
It's all good. That's allowed, Anyway, it's this whole drug thing. It's too much for me. You know how I feel all the time.
You get emotional. I know.
I get too much, and then again, like I said, I got people teaching my kid about drugs where I'm like, you don't even know nothing. What are you doing?
Well, maybe they do know. Maybe they do know. They watch somebody, do overdose on heroin, and they decided that I'm going to go warn people about drugs.
See,
and that's what they did.
That's what's funny about, that's why I love to point to Dr. Carl Hart, is where you've got anecdotal evidence of like an individualized case.
Right.
Great. And now you've got to go out and preach to the world that everyone's like this. And you're like, well, actually not really. To where I say the heroin epidemic, the ones that are on it through the prescription version, it's not an epidemic. But if you're buying
there's
it
an
on
opioid
the
epidemic.
Street, it's
the pharmaceutical epidemic. It's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's there. But I guess people seem to be where they're judged, but it seems to be maybe less if you got it from a doctor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
If you find the Ranger candy, as you called it the other day, you find the Rattler bottle, as they call it, versus somebody's the needle with the
band.
And got the whole
restrict,
kit.
Right.
You freak out less.
The spoon and the lighter and the
exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same chemical.
Right.
But you freak out more when you see the other.
But it's okay if it comes with a lab coat.
Anyway, I shouldn't go down. People get too upset at me with all my concepts on drugs. It's just the people that make the laws aren't scientists or chemists, so then they get to decide laws based off of propaganda.
Right.
At which point, then
and that's, hey, my brother dyed my arms.
Yeah. Exactly. It's the propaganda thing we talked about yesterday. Daily Dose picked up on it. A little shout out to them.
Absolutely.
I mean, the propaganda of the children, they always put the kid in the face, and they're like, we have to save the children, our children from this devil's lettuce. And I'm saying, let's reverse it. But here's something I realized. It clicked yesterday. Propaganda war is still going on.
Every day.
Do you remember not long ago where they said that a kid OD'd on cannabis? Did you hear about the first OD on cannabis? And then they later found out, no, that wasn't the case.
Okay, kind of. From my understanding, he had an anxiety attack and did something.
Yeah, it was. There was more extenuating circumstances surrounding it.
They just labeled it that
and they
he
went,
overdosed on weed.
It was weed. It was definitely the weed. It was definitely
Right.
weed. Notice it was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
notice the
somebody
story
who-
was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, all right. So that's all. I'm going to leave that on the propaganda angle of things. So I just wanted to
Really?
point that out because I remember that.
So where's that story now?
That's a really good question. It's been debunked, but not in the mainstream. They didn't push it out front. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like when it first came out, I was like, kid dies, OD's the first marijuana death.
So you're saying that the first wave was enough?
Yeah, and then when they corrected it, they were like, oh, kid
Just
didn't
so he
actually
didn't-
die.
And they kind of kept it under
And then,
wraps.
and then it just went on to the next story of Donald Trump. And then they're like, yes, we're back.
So the damage was already done.
Yeah, it's propaganda. It's too much, Manny. It's too
real.
much.
Thanks, Edward Bernays.
That's why we're listening to Today I Learned segment on the Manny and DrChurch show, which
True,
we've
we're gonna
stolen
educate.
from the internet.
Thanks,
Yay! Although it's not a topic, it's just a tag. Today I
Right.
learned your brain is able to make a decision for you seconds before you become aware of the fact that you are making a decision.
That's how I feel at the buffet. I'm all about that.
And he's like,
I'm all about it.
it's real.
Actually, nowadays I don't. I'm always there watching the kids. Like, unfortunately, like I'll get my plate, and
Yeah.
that's what's deterring me from the buffets nowadays, is I'll get my plate and I'll sit down and then I'll be like, turn around, Manuel. Just go ahead. Just
watch.
And then I do, and I see these kids just all their little booger fingers just grabbing this and grabbing that and putting their fingers in the chocolate. And I'm like, oh no, why am I eating here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to be careful.
Listen, at least they're normally called like the Happy Fun Time something or other
buffet.
It's normally what they're called. The one by me, I had a buddy of mine telling me his was named the Happy Fun Buffet. Yeah, it's like
I'd rather just go to Cripple Creek,
random name,
drink some wild turkey.
I mean, but with that,
and get a free buffet because I gambled all my money away.
But with that idea of your brain being able to make decisions before you become aware of it, I find it interesting. So Warp Zone Gaming brings us this show. There's been a lot of interesting studies on the brain and video games and the healthy aspect of it, and then down to, linking it to the Asperger's thing and just formulation of patterns in the mind and repetition helps your mind.
Repetition comes memory.
Yeah,
it builds.
Your brain is a muscle. Your mind is a muscle. You got to work it out on a regular. If not, you'll lose. You don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
And so I find all those little connections, if you will, interesting between the video games and decision-making process. So it's be interesting to see where you head, man. You can be some kind of super ager, and you can be super smart, and everybody's gonna be like, why is he so genius? You're gonna be like, Mario.
When all this is done,
stop. I said Mario.
When all this is done, I'm going to be fishing. I might have a Nintendo with an old school TV, a little old CRT, in the back room.
Nice.
But I'll have my little games, but I want to go fishing.
You're going fishing.
Yeah.
Which in my eyes is an excuse to get wasted. That's what I found out. I'm sorry. I didn't grow up fishing with like the dad thing. And then as I got older, people were like, hey, want to go fishing? And I'm like, never really went. And they go, come on, man, we're going to have fun.
Let's go.
And then every single expedition I've gone on for fishing, it's like all the chemicals come on
Everybody's
out.
just drunk.
There's no wives around normally, and they're just acting a fool. And I'm like, oh, I get it.
Nah.
No one's actually, because they throw the fish back in.
You realize there's a lot of people who are mad at you right now because you're
Why are you letting that out? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to let that out.
So you owe Colorado Springs like 5 push-ups for that.
Right, I apologize. That's not right to do. That's kind of like there's a movie called Beer League. And they end up where they go to a bachelor party.
Yeah.
And after the bachelor party, the next morning, the wives, it's each individual guy with their wife, and they cut to each guy, and they're like, the wife's like, so how'd things go last night?
Yeah.
F off. Like, every single guy's like, just none of your business.
You don't know anything about it.
You don't want to know. None of your business.
You don't talk about the bachelor party.
We don't talk about that. Yeah, that's...
you don't talk about the bachelorette party either.
You're right. So I apologize for possibly letting that little...
snippet out.
Fishing.
Well, what else did you learn
from
this Today I Learned?
Today I learned during the D-Day in Saving Private Ryan, the 2 surrendering Germans killed by American soldiers were saying in Czech, please don't shoot me. I'm not German. I'm Czech. I didn't kill anyone. The American soldiers jokingly translate it as, look, I washed for supper.
What?
Yeah, I guess they messed with different languages, so if you actually spoke the real language, you'd be like, no, they didn't say that, though.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you actually listened to the audio and spoke the language, instead of the subtitle reading what it was,
right,
it actually said what?
Something completely different to where it said, I didn't kill it. It says, I'm not German, I'm Czech. I didn't kill anyone. And then the American soldiers translated as, look, I washed for supper.
Interesting. I'll have to rewatch the Saving.
I actually randomly saw something else about, it was one of those things where it was they look for movies and look for mistakes. And there was a mistake in Private Ryan that they showed that was so small where I was like, man, somebody paid attention too much. Where it was a guy's he's saving somebody. They're in the D-Day scene, right in that
all the battle and everything.
Beach, and a guy's canteen gets shot, and you see water start pouring out.
Right.
And then a couple seconds later, the water just turns red and turns into just like fake blood pouring out of it.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like, oops. I don't
There's
know.
a movie called Beyond the Law. One of Charlie Sheen's early movies. He's a biker, and he's in a love scene with this lady.
Right.
And mind you, it's him and this lady. They're having it's building up for this scene. They're up against the wall. The hair's getting messed up. It's great, right?
Yeah.
And they fall onto the bed. The lamp, this tall lamp, falls over, right? And it's supposed to be built up in this scene. It's romantic, It's just all the commotion. The lamp fell over. Woo! But all of a sudden, a hand comes out of the screen from the right-hand side, and it catches the lamp. And you're like, wait, there's 3 people in the room? So sometimes movies can mess up. It's a thing.
That's a good time. All right, so today I learned that the Mythbusters once tested a combination of common materials that made an extremely powerful explosive. They deleted the tapes and swore to never release the information. Then contacted
I believe it.
DARPA and warned them about the possibility of misuse from the combination.
Wow. And now DARPA's like, yo, check this out. We got a new bomb.
Oops. Oopsie.
Is that when Moab? Is
Blow
that
more
when
people.
Moab came out?
Oh my gosh, that one must have been expensive. Woo. We got to test these things out, you know what I mean? You can't just
Why
make
not?
them and not test them.
Yeah, you got to test them.
Shoot, that's terrible.
All right, today I learned.
After Colonel Shaw died in battle, Confederates buried him in a mass grave as an insult for leading black soldiers. Union
Wow.
troops tried to recover his body, but his father sent a letter saying, "We would not have his body removed from where it lies, surrounded by his brave and devoted soldiers."
Absolutely.
That's beautiful and crazy at the same
Wow.
time. This racism stuff, it is nutty that, like, it's so not far away, if you will, to where
Oh, yeah.
I have a 95-year-old woman in my life, I'll
Almost
call her my
100
grandma.
years. Almost 100 years old.
Yeah, when you look at it, you talk to her and so on, it's like, you know,
It was a different world.
different world. Things are a little off-colored, you know what I mean? They speak a little less politically correct.
My dad was born in 1950. You're talking about a woman who was born a lot older than that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I mean, so I get it. It's the night and day of how they can translate what they're experiencing now, today in this world,
Right.
is unfathomable. Like, because I think of like you were saying yesterday, the leaps and bounds of our
Yeah,
technology.
right.
When our 80-year-old seniors are going to be rocking out to Tupac, in the
Right.
senior homes,
Right.
with neck tattoos.
Neck tattoos,
and
right.
you'll be like, yo, remember that time when I ate like 4 Xannies?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to
Imagine the little Xanax guy in the home with Lil Pump and what's your 69?
They're all sitting in the old folks' home.
They got the different color hair, just with tattoos on their face, all droopy eyed and
Here's the
messed
truth
up.
about it.
Oh,
They
man.
keep their path. They ain't going to make it that long. That's the truth about it.
I hate to say this. I hope so. Sorry. That was dark.
Oh, wow.
Hey, and I hope Jeff Sessions gets dark cancer. That's
True,
a whole
true,
nother
true.
sorry feeling that I shouldn't.
Colorado
speak on.
Springs, this is the Manny and Dr. Church Show.
And Dr. Church is rude sometimes, and I
And if
apologize.
you got hate mail, send it to the Manny and Dr. Church Show at gmail.com. If you want to join the conversation, find us on social media, Facebook. We got a group called the Manny and Dr. Church Show.
That's right.
Answer the question, who shot Tupac? Also, find us on Instagram.
He's still alive.
Join us there. We don't do the Snapchat, the Twitter, the other stuff. We ain't figured that stuff out yet.
Trying to
So
work that out.
yeah,
I keep taking pictures of my area. I keep trying to post it, and they're like, "That's not what Snapchat is anymore."
you got to be careful. If you send nudes
don't
on
understand.
Facebook, they will request nudes to confirm that you are okay with sending nudes.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard that was a thing. So be careful sending your nudes.
you got to ask permission.
Well, they will confirm that you're not hacked and somebody's just sending your stuff, and the only way that they can confirm is if, well, you send them a nude, I guess. Wow. Yeah,
This
careful.
internet is crazy. The internet is crazy, bro.
Yeah, it is.
So back to our internet learning. Today I learned, this one's kind of fun. It leads into some of our former topics that we try to steer away from on Sundays. I always seem to go back to it.
You're doing great, Dr. Church.
I'm sorry. It just, I don't know. It just happened. So today I learned Thomas Jefferson used a razor to cut passages from the New Testament and literally pasted them together into what is now known as the Jefferson Bible, currently on display at the Smithsonian. He felt the focus should be on Jesus' life and moral teachings, not inexplicable miracles.
So he revised his own version? Really?
He did the whole, just like King James has his own version of the Bible.
Sure.
He did the same
He just
thing.
decided
Jefferson's
to-
like, I'm going to make my version of the Bible. How about
Was he that well versed in it?
Yeah, I would say, or enough to where, I mean, that's the interesting argument of all of these books is that the people that translate them,
It's
like
an interpretation.
the people that knock on your door, the
Oh, yeah?
Watchtower people, when you
Okay.
look at their religion in their book, it's
Okay.
the big argument is that their book, the 4 people that translated it, they don't want it out there who did it because then it would instantly be like, oh, that guy doesn't even have a degree in Latin or Greek or Aramaic or Hebrew. So what?
Yeah.
We're going to say he knew how to translate he quick cold turkey into English?
I don't know if people understand what you mean by that.
Well, when you translate "he quit cold turkey" from English to different languages, how does it? It's just a weird statement.
So the slang don't carry over, and so
Sometimes
what you're
things
saying
don't
is
work.
interpretation things can be different.
Right, and it can completely change the pattern of life to where it's the difference of having women lead in the church and women not be allowed to lead in the church, because it's the difference of interpretation of mankind cannot live on bread alone. We talking about men, or we talking about mankind as in women and men? Where are we headed on that? And it's a difference of interpretation. That when you are interpreting and translating, that's two different things as well. It gets even deeper and crazier, and then opinions start being put onto translation, and then you have like 50 different versions of a book, and then you've got some guy sitting.
What
up there
you're telling me is that today I learned that Jefferson had his own book.
Had his own book.
Own Bible. That's interesting. What was it called? The Jefferson Bible?
The Jefferson Bible. Look it up. It's in the Smithsonian Institute.
Interesting.
Yes. All right. So here we go. This is a fun one. Today I learned of Ronald Alexander, who appeared on Ellen's show, the Ellen DeGeneres show, to accept a $500,000 donation from Lowe's for his crumbling elementary schools in Detroit. Months later, he and 12 other principals were convicted of taking $900,000 in bribes from a school supply scam.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're dealing with until you're in it.
It's a thing. Here we go. All right. Today I learned that 18th century stereotype of the lazy Southerner was caused by widespread hookworm infections, which caused poor Southerners to be lethargic, malnourished, stunted, and mentally retarded.
Thanks, Reddit.
Thank you, Reddit. I don't know if any of that is real. But it definitely is a thing where previous to the internet, I would say, because now since the internet has occurred, you hear a lot of comedians talk about this. When they used to travel the U.S., they said they'd get off of the plane in the middle and they'd be people there like, hey, how you doing? And they'd know nothing about nothing.
Right.
And they say, now you come on, and they'll be like, oh, man, I saw your podcast. And
it's great.
I've
been following you on Instagram. And
did you see this World Star clip? And I learned this on national. And they're a lot more informed and different. But that definitely was a thing where anytime you'd hear that accent, you would think of an individual who was a little slower, if you will. But now, in my eyes, it's very much changed. My Southern brethren, if you will, I love them. They're smart as anything. Some of them have accents, some of them don't, which is interesting. So it's a changing world out there, if you will.
I would agree.
Today I learned in 1987, Corona sales plummeted when a rumor spread that their workers were peeing in their beer. The company traced its origin back to Heineken.
Are you serious?
Yep, whom Corona sued for $3 million in damages, but their reputation still suffered, and their product was referred to as Mexican urine water for years, if you will. Started by good old Heineken.
Thanks, Heineken.
Yeah, I mean, business gets rowdy.
Yes, some say it's cutthroat.
It is, and sometimes you got to make moves that not everyone appreciates or everyone agrees with. And I've said it before, me personally in business, I see my, competitor drowning. I walk on over and I put a hose in their mouth and step on their head. That's how I get down. Other people are like, kumbaya, we're all in this movement together. And I'm like, no, my friend, capitalism is real. And that's a dark thing. I understand. Maybe it's how I was raised, and I should be more kumbaya and helpful. And
I don't know. Love thy neighbor, right?
Right. So like I said, I guess I should be changing up. But
no, here's the deal. I say it's from the urban environment, the city, the concrete jungle. That's what it breeds. You stay out in the country. You wake up to a sunrise and a rooster crowing. Right. You go to bed, when you're tired because you worked all day. It's not because, you're just shuffled into your box again and it's time to clock in and clock out.
Keep moving.
Know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Keep moving.
You grow up with a different perspective.
Ugh. My perspective is off. It's truth. I mean, I rolled up one time. This is a true story. I came up, I had a buddy of mine. He had a person in his yard just out of nowhere. And he lives up in the middle, deep in the mountain.
All right.
So when we get up there, he's like, there's a
random person out in my property.
It's
time to deal with it.
So I'm immediately like, oh, get the guns. We gonna throw. We gotta get. They were like, "Oh, you okay? Everything all right? You need some water? It's hot out. How'd you get up here? Everything okay?" I'm sitting there like, "No, this guy's fitting to rob us. Why do you think he's up here? You don't climb up here for no reason. He knows there's weed up in here. He knows what's going on. He's stupid." And so I instantly was like, "No, we need to throw down and get this guy out." No, instant
friend hospitality.
They were giving him water.
Right.
They ended up getting him a ride somewhere.
Did you find out why the individual was stuck up there?
Mentally lost.
So they went on a journey to find themselves and then got lost.
Released from the mental hospital.
Oh, no.
And thought that he heard people asking him to meet him there.
No.
Yeah. So he left. He was walking and just decided, oh, there's a dirt road that's like 6 miles long. Let me walk down this literally 6 miles. I wish that was a joke. Like 6 miles.
Yeah.
Let me walk down this 6-mile dirt road in the middle of Pueblo and then up a mountain. Because someone was telling me they're going to meet me up there. Yeah, that's what happened to him. Mental health is real.
Yeah.
And we're spending a lot of money on bombs and not mental health, but that's another topic. Anyway, today I learned,
for
Manny,
every tank, we could fix a mental health patient. I don't know.
Saying the bombs, the bullets, the whole thing, bro. We're spending a lot of money on blowing up a lot of brown people we don't know. When, again, then we're waving flags going, take away the AR-15s. Maybe we address some of the mental health issues and just issues in life. I mean, we did a lot of craziness. Everybody knows everybody's parents and grandparents. We were wild.
Yep.
We're wild.
True story.
They did a lot of crazy stuff to our brains. You know? Today I learned yellow journalism was an 1890s term for journalism that presented little or no legitimately researched news.
So satire.
And instead used eye-catching headlines, sensationalism, and scandal-mongering.
Clickbait.
Correct, sir. Correct, sir.
Satire and clickbait.
The Manny and DrChurch show.
Not much has changed.
Pauly Shore is dead.
Is a movie.
On Amazon?
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Clickbait. Yes. Shout out to his mom, Mitzi, for real. That's
absolutely.
We love you and miss you. Not that any of us knew you, but man, you did a lot for the comedy world, for real.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, HBO always had a lot of issues with her. So today I learned HBO had to hire a team of 160 lawyers. Oh my gosh! Before releasing its film Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief, because of the church's litigious nature.
Litigious, is that a word?
Yeah, to where litigation is a real thing. That's why I'm always
Right.
like, I litigate. I don't regulate. That's how I get down personally. I don't fight people. I'm like, I'm gonna beat you down in court. That's how I
So
flex my
HBO
muscles.
had to get lawyers because they were afraid the church was going to sue?
So I've talked a little about this previously. To again, Sunday. We're not supposed to talk religion, but we're doing it anyway. So
Because you're DrChurch and, well,
Yes,
there's
I
no
was.
guarantees. We just going to show up.
Scientology, when they first became a religion, wanted tax-exempt status such as the NFL.
To also, because other churches are tax exempt.
Right, so you can just receive money and not have to pay the tax out.
Right.
Although the NFL now pays their taxes, thank God.
True story.
But ends up where they couldn't get their tax-exempt status. So what they did, allegedly, according to this film and other films, they went out and sued the IRS, where they went and they had lawyers personally sue the actual agents in the IRS. So
Right.
like good old
Right.
Patty would come home after a long day of work, crunching numbers and ruining people's lives.
Thanks, IRS.
And they'd be like, "Hey, Patty, are you Patty?"
Yeah, I'm Patty from the IRS.
You just been served.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they put like hundreds of lawsuits, and it got to the point where the government has a budget. And they said,
You're right. The
all
government
these-
does have a budget.
Yeah. All these lawsuits are costing us a lot of money. If we don't do something about this, we're going broke.
Right.
And so allegedly there was the Miscavige guy that runs it, allegedly sat down with the head of the IRS at the time. They had a discussion, and all of a sudden, tax-exempt status was given to the Church of Scientology and good old Lord Xenu. And yeah, it's Church of Scientology's Lord. It's the whole thing.
Lord Xenu?
Yeah, Lord Xenu.
That's the big man on campus, huh?
There's the Thetas and the.
I'm new.
It's
All
a
right,
whole-
Charlie Mike,
yeah.
continue mission.
Anyway, so they end up they sue, and now after this random meeting with the head of the IRS, all of the litigation stops, but they have tax exempt status. Surprise! We don't know how that happened, but it happened. So they are very notorious for suing the heck out of people when they ain't happy with what you got going on, where they're just very much, oh, no, we got a lawyer. I got that.
I got a lawyer.
I'll file that papers tomorrow. No big deal. You're done. You're screwed. So.
And so HBO teamed up with 160 of them just so they can release this movie because they knew they were going to catch wind?
Because the film basically was pointing out all the different wild things that go on with this religion when you try to leave. And the different things in a religion where just coming up as a youth, they send you off to a... How
do you leave a religion? Don't you just kind of just not believe anymore?
Well, that would be nice if that was the case, but it's kind of like...
I guess you're still expected to show up at the church or show up at the this and the that.
If your whole family's in it, right?
Okay.
Your mom's in it, your dad's in it, your grandma, whatever.
Right.
You decide you're leaving. You now aren't coming to Christmas dinner. Your family's not allowed to talk to you. They excommunicate you, where they just completely... You're deemed a negative person, and they cut you completely.
And this is with Scientology?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, they completely cut you out, and they're not allowed to speak with you because then you're impacting them and their.
Go big or go home, right?
Yeah. It's definitely crazy.
Be careful. Be careful what cult you join. Be careful what religion you follow.
Right.
And know your dentist.
Amen to that. That is truth. That is helpful. That is helpful. Today I learned. Here we go. I don't even want to read that one. That one's boring. Today I learned that the wife of George Lucas, Marsha Lucas, won an Oscar in 1977 for Best Film Editing in Star Wars.
She was in charge of editing?
But this is fun. To date, George Lucas has won 0 Oscars.
So his wife's got one.
His wife won for editing Star Wars.
I didn't know she was in charge. She was there in the head of, editing Star Wars, man.
Yep, she was the head film editor. It says she won the Oscar for Best Film Editing in Star Wars.
Wow.
And George got nothing.
I thought George kind of was just like the big dictator of that thing. You know, it was like, you do this, you do that. I didn't know he brought his wife into that.
I thought you were saying something different. A big dictator.
Dictator, yeah.
Dictator.
He's, those people that just...
The big tater. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Woo! Sorry, that just threw me off. I was just like, whoa, Manny, what are you saying there?
All right.
Oh, anyway,
what else did you learn today?
This one I didn't learn, but I've known this one. This one's a fun one. It might be new for others. Today I learned Ben Affleck.
Today you learned.
Ben Affleck is banned for life from playing blackjack at the Hard Rock Casino in Las Vegas. He got caught counting cards and actually knew that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's a card counter like that, allegedly. And they say they caught him, and they said, you've got to go.
Have you seen the new Thor Ragnarok?
No, I haven't. I have not.
All right, spoiler alert.
Go for
There's
it.
a scene where Matt Damon's in it, portraying, I can't remember.
Really?
Basically, if they would have put Ben Affleck as the other character that they were communicating with, dude, they would have just hit that scene out of the park. But instead, they used somebody else. They used Thor's real brother. The guy that plays Thor,
right?
His real brother was in that scene instead of Ben Affleck, and I think if they would have put Ben in there, it would have just nailed it out of the park because it was Matt Damon and it would have been Ben Affleck. And those that know the movies, you get the scene,
right?
You get what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The one with the janitor and he solves the film or the puzzle, whatever it is. Today I learned in 2016, a Spanish train conductor requested the company he worked for to send someone to relieve him at the end of his shift. When the company failed to do so, the conductor had the train stop in a village and simply went home, leaving 109 passengers stranded.
Wow.
He's like, I'm done. I'm good today.
Clocking out.
I'm done.
Take care.
Peace. And I guess...
And he left the whole train because nobody...
It's good. No, he's done. It's not his job. It's not his responsibility.
I mean, but would he have gotten paid extra to drive it home?
Would have kept his job. How about that?
You're saying he
must have lost his job after.
Would that be firing? Would that be grounds for firing?
Gotta be. There's no way there's not. That's almost impossible in my eyes. I couldn't imagine that.
But what if he had just done 10 hours, 12 hours, and it was like literally not safe for him to be behind the... I guess it's not the wheel of a train.
It's not safe for 109 people to be left in the middle of nowhere neither, I guess.
You lock the cab. They can walk. you lock up the front so they can't, drive the train themselves.
I mean, it's interesting because I had a job once upon a time where I used to work with autistic people in a group home setting.
Right.
And it was to where if someone wasn't there to take over your shift, you can't just leave.
True.
To where there was kids that I worked with in a kid group home, then there was adults.
It doesn't negate the setting.
Right.
Right.
And with that comes I discussed with you a week or so ago was the taking ownership of your job. And a lot of people don't take ownership of your job.
Because nobody feels like they're the CEO when they're only making $12 an hour.
Right.
So they're not going to don all hats of the business.
I don't
They're not
care.
going to take the trash out and wipe the windows down and clean the tables and take care of customers and file the paperwork and worry about marketing, and they're not going to worry about that because, well, you know what? They don't pay me to.
They don't.
And
pay
that's
me
the
to.
attitude.
And that's a major one. Is the attitude I've noticed? Is I've seen some people come in and just go, "No, it's all good. I got this. I'm just going to do my job." It's a little over. It's a little under. I'm going to participate. I'm going to do my thing, make sure things get done. Because I, as an individual...
That sounds like an average performance.
But I, as an individual, has some integrity. To where, as a person, I care about life in general, maybe.
Okay.
And so for me to come in somewhere and just be angry... To where I was talking to our friend the other day, and he was upset going, I carry all my stuff... and as I'm carrying my stuff, I'm going, F you owners for making me do this. And I'm like, did they beat you and make you go to work? Like, what happened? Oh my God, you poor guy. Like, what'd they do to you to make you go to, do they not, did you get paid? Yeah, I got paid. They pay me crap. And I'm just like, well, it's like if you don't like it and you're not happy with the owners or the situation you're in, just, you go on to the next one.
People are stuck though. People are stuck with if they can't see the instant gain where they're going to benefit or it's going to pull them out of the situation, they will gladly take those blows every day. They'll get hit in the gut showing up to work every day. Oh, I got to do this again. Oh, I'm stuck with these same employees. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I complain because they're not going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, a lot of people don't understand that if you just put yourself into the situation, you will succeed. I mean, tell me I'm wrong, because here you are today, and you have succeeded to get to where you are today, and all you had to do was show up.
I would agree. I would very much agree. Very much agree. I mean, you say show up, participate, have a positive attitude. And,
attitude is a lot.
And maybe it'll change your circumstances to where maybe instead of somebody looking at this guy and be like, man, this guy just has a terrible attitude, just makes my 8 hours terrible. Terrible. And why would I pay that guy more? He's not making my life nicer, happier, other than just he does his job. Yay, but he just complains about it.
But then the owners, the people that are shelling out that money, they need to know when a good worker is working hard.
I agree.
And they need to reward them accordingly, if you will. I mean, I ain't saying you got to pat them on the back every time they do a good job, but...
That's helpful too, though.
Every once in a while, sure. Sometimes that's all you need to do. You ain't even got to cut $100 check. You can just pat them on the back and say, man, hey, I appreciate your work.
Right.
Good job. I'll see you next week. You know what I mean?
Thanks for caring. Thanks for helping me build my dream. So I guess it's both sides of it.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it's a two-way street, if you will.
It is very, very much so.
It's just I've seen a lot of people that show up just to be angry is what I've seen, to where that individual I was talking to, I said, well, why don't you participate, and then you'll become the boss, and then you can change things. And he goes, oh, well, they offered me to be the boss. I said no. And I'm like, well, then why are you complaining? Shut up.
Sorry, you just shot yourself in the foot.
You finally had a chance to fix the thing you've been complaining about.
I don't want the responsibility.
Literally, they offer it, and my man's like, nah, I'm good. And you know if you're listening, you know who I'm talking to, young man. Anyway, it's just, I've seen this a lot. The participation thing, as you say, it just ends up where the attitude all involved. Too much.
I'll tell you what, I think it's a lot has to do with people aren't rewarding themselves when they go home. When they clock out, they're not. And no, you're not rewarding yourself when you crack open that beer. And no, you're not rewarding yourself when you're smoking the bowl.
Sorry.
Reward yourself by something that you actually care about. Are you into calligraphy? Do you even know what that means? It's fancy writing. You know what I mean? Like, learn about it. Do you want to know about how to put a turbo in an old John Deere tractor? Learn about it. Become passionate about something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
I
feel like people lost that because we've got the instant gratification of, I'm going to put a DVD in. I'm going to put a video game in. I'm going to post this on Instagram, and I'm going to get a bunch of likes, and here's my endorphins that are, the chemicals are being released. I'm getting what I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll go back to my nastiness tomorrow.
But back in the day, we used to have little things like gardens.
Right.
I'm thinking
Hobbies.
model cars. You
Sure.
know, remember model cars?
Sure.
They're still around, you know what I mean? But people don't put it in the forefront because they forgot what kind of joy that actually brought us.
Right.
You know? Color. Try coloring. There's adult coloring books nowadays.
There
There's even
are.
adult coloring books with profanity all over
curse
them.
words,
Yeah.
I've seen
you know what I
that.
mean? So it's
I've
like
seen
find
that.
the joy that we used to have.
Right.
And then you might not show up to work like a bittered old hag and just a grumpy Gus.
Find happy.
Find happy.
Find happy. I agree. Today I learned, Manny, this one's going to be right up your alley again, that when Ready Player One was released, there was an Easter egg in the book that led readers to 3 challenges, including playing a new Richard Garriott game and setting a world record on a game for the Atari 2600. The winner of challenges was awarded a vintage DeLorean.
No. How did I miss out on this? I guess I didn't read the book, Ready Player One.
Yep.
But I heard that the book was better than the movie, like always, or something along
As
those
always,
lines.
that's what I hear.
Like there was things that were missing in the movie. Like obviously, the movie was definitely all clickbait.
Right.
Like,
That's just-
like you saw everything from your childhood. It was just a gasm of just nostalgia, you know,
Right.
inside your brain. And so obviously, regardless of what kind of content that they had in that movie, you were going to enjoy it.
right.
You know what I mean?
Because it
And-
brought you back.
Right. It could have
Right.
just been going blah 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 blah. It could have been the teacher from.
Wah, 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 wah,
Yeah, yeah.
wah, wah,
You know what I
wah.
mean? But the fact that you
G.I.
saw
Joe.
you saw a bunch of DeLoreans
Oh.
in the Winnebago from what was it? Spaceballs.
Oh, they have that in there?
I think I saw it.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And there's so much the Iron Giant. You know, you've got all these flashing.
Wow.
They didn't need to pull out the whole book, I guess.
Wow. I guess you're right. I'm going to Google this next one before I read it because
I want to
wanna
know what game that was that they had for the 2600 that you had to play though.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say.
I'll do some research
It
and check
doesn't
that out
say.
because I might have it.
Oh my gosh, this one was real. Okay. I guess I'll say his name is Richard. Yeah.
Okay.
Richard, okay. It's not a bad word. It's just Richard used to be called Dick. It was the name of a person back
Right.
in the day.
Dick Van Dyke.
Correct.
Right.
So today I learned the top flying ace for the U.S. during World War II was Dick Bong. B-O-N-G. Yeah.
Really?
Who shot down 40 Japanese aircraft.
Wow.
Yeah, I just Googled it. There's a whole Wikipedia page on
Absolutely.
Richard Bong, a.k.a. Dick Bong. And
That is one ace of a pilot name.
Yeah. 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 That must have been really weird to where I don't even want to start making jokes about it because I feel like it's a lot of troubles.
I think I would expect nothing less. How many planes did he shoot down?
40.
Enough.
40.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
Today I learned. This one's a good one. I love this guy. His music is good to where I'm not huge on it to where I listen to it all the time. But the
We're
guy.
talking about Sting.
Nope. Nickelback. My God. No, I'm playing. Today I learned that Kid Rock. Kid Rock
yeah.
as a person. I love that guy. He's a good person. Great individual. Great attitude. Great opinions. They're pretty loud and crazy, but I love them. I learned that today Kid Rock took a massive pay cut on his 2013 summer tour in order to keep ticket prices for his shows capped at $20 and beer prices at $4 for a 12-ounce.
That's patriotic.
That's almost impossible, dude.
That's patriotic.
You've gone to shows.
Absolutely. You're paying $8, $9, $12 for a beer.
Easy. I was like,
Easy.
you starting way low. That's like
No.
12 to 14, man. They're nuts out there.
Little cup, big
The
cup, little
okay.
cup, big cup.
Little one. I get what you say. Okay, yeah.
The one that's insulting. They're like, yeah, an $8 beer. Come over here, and you're over there like,
They
dude,
sell-
that's a sippy cup.
They
Like,
sell shots of
shot
beer?
glass. Wow, for
They
real?
don't sell shots of beer.
No, let me pull out a second mortgage, get a hot dog, 2 beers, and a pretzel.
Honey, shut up. It's no big deal. We're going to handle this.
Give him the first child.
It's fine. It's fine. Dude, you're right. And where I love the idea that he did that. Because, again, some of these shows, you go in, it's $1.30 just to get, like, seats in the lawn.
Yep.
The lawn. You're in the lawn and you're just like, this isn't
Look,
even...
I can see it on the big screen.
Yeah, the good chemicals aren't even out here. The good chemicals are up there. This is not
By the
fair.
time the good chemicals get back to you, party's over.
Oh, man.
So
Oh,
shout out
man.
Kid Rock.
Shout out Kid Rock. Let's keep on the Today I Learned, but I'll go down the rock and roll stars. Today I learned, this one I also knew about. After surviving the plane crash that killed 3 of his bandmates, Artemis Plyle, the drummer of Lynyrd Skynyrd,
Yes.
to where I'm a drummer, so I know
Right,
this
I
dude,
know.
was shot in the shoulder by a
Ah.
farmer as he stumbled through a field with a group of survivors.
See, and that's what could have happened to your dude that was up on the side of the mountain, and he was a crazy dude. He had no idea where he was.
No idea where he
Could've
was.
gotten shot.
Easy. That would have been me.
And
I would
you're
have been
telling
the
me
farmer
that the
shooting him.
drummer from Leonard Skinner got shot because they were lost?
His plane crashed.
Right.
So as
And
soon
he's
as he
trying
got
to
out, he's like,
survive.
we
He's
need
like-
help.
he's like, hey, help me,
Anyone
help me.
Boom. Yeah.
Get off my land.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real?
Either that or it was a
Like,
cop.
they didn't know it was Leonard Skinner?
It might have been a Jersey cop. I don't know. One of those two. Alleged.
come on, Jersey.
I don't know. Jersey's putting their fingers up people's
I know,
booties.
that's wrong.
Looking for flowers, bro.
Not flowers, weed. The aroma of
It's
flower.
insane.
He got a different aroma.
He got past the knuckle, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Messed up art. That's jacked up, bro.
It's too crazy. All right, today I learned, oh boy, Dr. Gay Hitler, son of George Washington Hitler, was a well-respected
What?
dentist living in Circleville, Ohio. Because Adolf Hitler misspelled his grandfather's surname, Heidler, the Hitlers of Ohio are likely the only true Hitlers.
So you're saying Hitler's last name wasn't actually spelt the way that it was,
That's what they're saying.
and that these individuals had.
Right, his grandfather's name was Heidler.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Idaho.
That's got to be really weird.
Let's just stick to potatoes. What do you got?
All right, today I learned that Milton Hershey kept his employees working during the Great Depression by having them construct buildings in Hershey, Pennsylvania, including a school, arena, and hotel. When a steam shovel was brought in for construction, Hershey told his foreman to get rid of the shovel and hire 40 men instead.
That's what's the word for that? That's a
Beautiful is all I can say. It's beautiful.
It's an industrial complex saving a community. I mean, am I wording that right?
I would say correct to where he realized, I don't need 50 Lamborghinis.
Right. It's also like the guy that invented 5-hour energies, the drinks. He's contributing a mass amount of, whether it be geothermal technology,
Right.
space travel. He's contributing because he's made it. You know what I mean? It's back into that topic of giving back once you've made it. You
Thank
know?
God, because again, some of these guys are getting up there, and then all they're doing is running around their hotel room throwing money,
But you
and
realize
showing
that-
off on Instagram, going, "Look at my
And
new
then it's
Louis
gone.
Vuitton mail. Look
Yeah,
at
and then it's
this.
gone.
Look at that. Ah."
But if Mr. Hershey guy, decided not to do that and let the people of this community go through the Depression like everybody knows how bad it was,
Right.
then you wouldn't have the Hershey that we have today. You know what I mean? We probably still have chocolate, but Hershey wouldn't be the powerhouse that it is. It obviously realized that the investment to put the money towards the people would obviously benefit them in the long run. You know
Right.
what I mean? So he invested back into his community.
And he made a heck of a community to where I've been to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and whew,
Yeah?
it's amazing.
Do they all have diabetes?
They should. They are quite heavy. A lot of cavities going around for some reason. Don't know what that's
The
about.
dentist industry is booming.
Yeah. But no, they've got a ride that you literally go in and they show you how they make the Hershey Kisses. and
Okay.
You get out of the ride and it's just a massive store of just every chocolate you've ever never heard of and
Is
heard
there.
of is there. Like every Hershey product that was distributed solely in Germany, it's
Really?
there. To where they have
They have select special edition chocolates.
for different countries and areas and places.
Limited edition, only released in Australian.
I mean, I'm sure we have a lot of stuff because a lot of chemicals we use in our foods are illegal in other countries, like your red number 40s, your dyes, your blue 6, your yellow whatevers, and so
You're
on.
saying that other countries have outlawed it to feed
Yeah,
it
to
to
where
their people?
like Kellogg's and all them, when they want to go do business in those countries, they have to adjust their recipes because they just say no. They
Oh,
pay
really?
attention. Yeah, it's like all the GMOs and all that stuff. We don't want it, but we don't actually fully try to change. Like,
And make it stop?
yeah, like we were gonna have a
We're like, no, give me another plastic cheeseburger, please.
or another coffee. Starbucks, we were going to have labeling, I think it was in Vermont,
Okay.
of GMOs. And Starbucks came and was like, we don't want that because they didn't want GMO labeling on their coffee cups saying that they use GMOs in
Absolutely.
coffee. And they knew it would hurt their business in Vermont. So they went in, they litigated, and
They went to court,
they won.
and they won.
And so now we don't know what's on that.
we don't know what GMOs are in the Starbucks coffee.
Right. And where in other
Interesting.
countries, like I said, they can make
Really?
different things illegal. Where I saw a package the other day on the internet. Someone took a picture of their markers, and all of the markers said made in Japan, except for the color red.
What?
No idea why. It said made in Mexico.
Really?
And I was like, that's weird. But what if, I bet you it's something to do with the laws
Yeah. No, I get it.
and the dyes. And they were like, well, we can't use this dye in Japan.
I had an
Mexico.
old video gaming chair. That kind of rocks back and forth. It's just a chair that sits on the ground for video games.
Sure.
All right, they're standard. I flip it over. I'm looking at the tag, and it says some of the products in this thing are known in the state of California to cause cancer. And I'm like, what does California know that the rest of us don't know that's in this product?
Oh my God, a lot.
You know what I'm? And how are we okay with that?
It is very awkwardly interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Because I got rid of the chair. I was like, California knows this causes cancer. I'm going to get rid of this.
I'm with you. So
I was like, I don't know.
It's just weird that in the rest of the country, nobody else seems to be able to fight to that extent that they're able to get the labeling like California did. That's wild to me. Like, let alone they knew that it's in there.
Right, that they knew that it was in there, but they were able to get it on litigation to where they had to put the label out there to inform the public.
Exactly, to where other states are just like, they can't seem to get past that. They're just like, Judge so-and-so.
Here.
That Lamborghini that showed up in your driveway, that has nothing to do with your court case on Friday. Nothing.
Don't worry about that.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. These bought and paid for systems get a little weird to me.
Well, let's bought and paid for some music. Let's get into some music.
Let's do that. But first,
you think so?
This show is brought to you by Warp Zone Gaming because it is the top of the
video games. 2508 East Bijou.
That's right.
Game room in back.
Speakeasy Vape Lounge. You want to smoke your legal cannabis? Come on down and
21
bring your
and up.
own. Or they've got CBD flower on the shelf now as well.
True story.
You can come on back and meet the real Nintendo Jesus, a.k.a. Manny, from the Manny and DrChurch show in the back of the Speakeasy Vape Lounge at Warp Zone Gaming, where he regularly resides and practices his gaming skills.
Yeah, I'm a Mario speedrunner, so I like to go as fast as I can. I'm always practicing. So far, 5 minutes, 36 seconds, I can beat the original Mario. It ain't no world record, because the world record's under 5 minutes.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm there. I'm honing my craft, just trying to do what I could do to just get as fast as I can go.
Dude, and you're doing the right thing. That's all I can say. Stop on by 2508 East Bijou. You will be brought back immediately to your childhood and just go, oh my God. Or maybe not. Some people don't want their childhood brought back.
No, they don't.
I don't like it.
But I do have a power glove.
Yeah. That's real.
So, like 3 people were like,
what's that, though? Some of them. Please explain, because this is real.
It's like the first Wii remote. From back in the Nintendo days.
And it was a glove.
It gave you a sensor bar, and it allowed you to control your video game with a glove. Wow. That was pretty amazing. But people didn't
So you own this, and he has it in the back of the Speakeasy Vape Lounge, and you can actually, could you use it?
If I brought all the parts.
And you pull it all the way
complete. It's a complete set, so all I did was brought the glove out for the
You're like, I ain't letting it for everybody play with this.
But I have considered bringing it out so people can experience it.
Interesting.
If I get enough people to request it, I might.
You might pull it all the way there. Well, this show's also brought to you by Lab Builder Supplies. They're running a special on their gloves. All of you trimmers out there.
420.
420 for the week of 420. They are selling cases of gloves for $42 and boxes of gloves for $4.20. All different sizes and colors. Hit them up.
Could this even pertain to the wife or the husband at home that's like, man, I got to clean the toilet.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch it.
Yes.
So these are like just regular, kind of good old gloves.
Nitrile gloves, the blue ones you see the doctors with. No latex in here, just the nitrile gloves.
That you're probably going to spend about $10 at the store.
Correct.
$20 somewhere else. Yeah.
All of you trimmers with the black gloves, you're looking for the black nitrile gloves.
The mechanics looking for the black gloves.
Mechanics as well. $4.20 a box.
What's
$42
the number?
A case. 719-722-4181. That's your number. 719-722-4181. Lab Builders
again,
Supplies.
Can we get that in Portuguese?
No, Manny, that was about to get racist. You were getting me in a lot of trouble right there. That's not right. We'll
Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and DrChurch show. We're going to get you into some music. Keep it locked. It's blazing. Dirty Game Studio.
Hey, Method Man, this is Donald Trump, and I'm in Palm Beach, and we're all waiting for your album. Let's get going, man. Everybody's waiting for this album.
End of...
Been snorting grated cheese. It's exhilarating.
Does that help with the lightning of the. Anyways, never mind. Anyways.
Welcome back to the Manny and DrChurch show. Woo! Today we've been learning a lot, Manny.
You've decided to go down this rabbit hole.
Oh my goodness. We've been just learning, then more learning.
And I'm okay with it.
More learning.
I wonder if anybody's keeping up with us.
I don't know, but if you like learning,
I don't really care.
I'm going to guess probably not. A lot of people don't like to learn.
No.
A lot of people like to Netflix and chill and just dumb out.
I'm more of a VHS and chill kind of guy.
Manny, which leads us to our next Today I Learned, because I am a VHS and chill kind of guy.
Yeah? You a connoisseur
myself.
of the
yes,
VHS?
Sir. Yes,
Yeah?
sir. To where we're not alone, my friend. I've had a few people I've been starting to run into that I'm realizing are into this. Ooh, that's a microphone, ladies and gentlemen. I've been running into people that are into the retro, if you will, where the retro world is definitely a major place that people are very much being sucked into.
I think just jumping back into nostalgia has always been around. I think we just labeled it. We're loud enough to label it retro. You know, like we're claiming retro.
And we're getting older, so we're allowed to start doing it, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
we can afford to, I guess.
It's like that first time you heard Nirvana on the oldie station, or the first time you heard Biggie or whoever on this station, and it's called classic hip-hop. And you're like,
home of original hip-hop and
when
R&B.
did that happen? And
Like,
then
what?
you put on the other station with the other hip-hop, and it's like,
Well, they don't listen, they don't hear a lot of hip-hop. They don't hear a lot of hip-hop. That's what they hear when we're talking.
Right.
You know, and then they get some hip-hop and R&B every once in a while.
But anyway, we love our retro. We love our VHS. We love our cassette tapes. We've been going back.
Absolutely.
So today I learned Mr. Rogers.
Great man.
Remember Mr. Rogers?
Great man.
Which I recently learned that Daniel Tiger is like
huge. Yeah.
It's continuation
Yes,
of it.
If you got kids and you're a fan of Mr. Rogers, check out
that.
Daniel Tiger.
Good old Dan. Shout out Daniel. Shameless
Absolutely.
plug. Shameless plug.
Hey, help me.
It's real.
I was there with my kid. You know, watching that stuff almost every day.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, bro. Occasionally I'd call it third parent. Be like,
right.
I'd ask Mrs. Church, Miss Church, do you want it? I'm busy. I'd be like, third parent. PBS.
PBS.
That's not funny and terrible.
Check out Mr. Rogers' story about how he gained funding for what he did. Okay, like he went to Congress and got so much money. Like he was only asking for X amount of dollars, and they gave him so much. And they were just talking about cutting funds. Like they were talking about getting rid of stuff, cutting money, this, that, and the other. And Mr. Rogers stepped up to the plate and was like, "I'm going to talk to you, and you're going to listen." And this congressman got goosebumps.
And then he said, "We can control them when they're young." Yes, start the brainwashing early. Yeah, sorry.
How you gonna put that on Mr. Rogers?
And then his lizard skin came. No. Mr. Rogers told the U.S. Supreme Court during the attempt to ban VCRs that he sided with the VCR.
Well, thank you. I didn't know we almost lost the VCR. Like that was at risk.
Yeah.
How are we gonna lose it?
So that's what I was saying. As I was reading,
too many people got too much power. Okay, there's people out there that got too much power. Understand that.
Able to go too far.
Just because you ain't paying attention doesn't mean they ain't doing stuff. That's why I tell people get involved in local politics, because I mean they doing it anyways.
It's
you know what I mean.
It's definitely big.
They're gonna do it anyways.
That
wow,
is
the
correct.
VHS was at risk of being lost, and Mr. Rogers was like, I support this.
He said that. They tried to ban VCRs. He said that it helped families to watch his show together.
Absolutely.
The Supreme Court said his testimony was a contributing factor which allowed VCRs. And basically the idea being that programming and all the major channels were like, well, if you let them record our stuff, they can then rebroadcast it whenever they want, however they want, and then they won't tune in. And exactly, and they tried.
But it wasn't the birth of pirating. And, you know, people have been ripping off each other since the dawn of time. Counterfeit.
It's completely ridiculous is all I know. The fact that they almost shut down VCRs. My God.
Right.
That would have been a very, very sad day for me. And for all those weird home videos from the 80s where you get to make fun of everybody's gear and their hair and just go, ooh.
Man, look up some of the old the self-help VHS tapes. You can look them up online. And, I mean, just ones that aren't necessarily big production value. You know, they're just people who are able to put some stuff together, and it's, you know, and now it's Jennifer's workout abs, you know, instead of the whatever it was back in the day.
Yeah.
people pulled it together.
Jack LaLanne with the budget.
Bowling 300. You know, I'll teach you how to bowl.
Nice.
Like there's guys that put those videos together and sold them out of the backs of their trucks to try and make money. Yeah, they hustled.
I'm a hustle. That's
and those movies, they're out there, and oh man, there's some gold ones out there.
That's what I'm saying. And we would have none of this to where now I'm thinking about it. The home videos that you look back at it and you go, man, that hair, man, them shorts were short and them tights, them jeans were tight. I think that circle started to happen where that's what I'm looking at. But now I'm hearing the jeans are loosening. So I think we're going back to that Gen Code phase with
they're going
to get awkwardly large. Yeah, we're going to go too far. Then we'll find that happy medium. Then we'll go tight again.
I'm going to be okay as long as the bell bottoms don't come back again.
They will. To where
I'm okay. Like, I'm just stating my opinion. This is just me. I'm okay with the bell bottoms just skipping another generation because I feel like we've skipped at least a couple,
Yeah, I mean,
it's been a while.
You're right.
Because in the early 2000s.
Later 90s.
Yeah. Was gross.
Yeah, it was a thing. I remember specifically it was like 96, 97. My sister was one of the first ones to show up with a pair of awkward pants. And then it kept going from there is the best way to describe it. She was always on that CNN style.
It's gonna happen regardless. I'm gonna take a page out of my dad's book. Don't focus on your clothes. Don't focus on your clothes, man. If you're worried about what you're wearing, you ain't worried about what you're doing. I mean, I guess that's a way to take it. You know what I mean? But don't focus on that. Do your job.
Do your job.
Provide for your family. Provide for yourself. Make yourself happy. But then again, I guess if buying clothes is what makes you happy, then I guess you're really hollow. I don't know. I don't know.
I guess you're really you have a frozen heart, my friend.
You like objects, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Find your soul.
Man, today I learned that Keanu Reeves runs a private charitable foundation to fund cancer research and children's hospitals. In 2009, he told Ladies' Home Journal, "I don't like to attach my name to it. I just let the foundation do what it does." Randomly, he said this in Ladies' Home Journal. Right. I'm just going to drop this. I don't like to talk about this everywhere.
But here's the deal. That's the thing is, though, Keanu Reeves has gotten a lot of credit for what he's done. Like, from my understanding, Keanu Reeves been through the ringer. Like, his life's been turned upside down. Like, maybe his wife's passed or, stuff. Child, maybe even. Like, his life's been turned upside down.
Crazy.
But, yeah, he still has a way to give. You know what I mean? And so maybe the lady in the Journal place just ran into him, and he was nice enough to give her the interview because he's not a D like that.
And she was cute, and he was like, "Hey, I just want to tell you and your listeners that may or may not be women."
I'll shout out Keanu Reeves, man.
I saved cancer kids.
He gave us Bill and Ted, bro.
You're right.
Wild Stallion.
Come on
now.
You're right. He gave The Matrix. I love The Matrix. That one really tripped me out.
All right, so what do you got?
Today I learned. Oh boy. Today I learned R. Kelly was 27 when he legally married singer Aaliyah, who's 15.
Hold up.
Who falsely stated her age as 18. Yeah, R. Kelly's got a lot of weird things surrounding him where it's like...
Is this the Aaliyah I'm thinking about? Or just some random...
Dude. This is the Aaliyah you're talking about. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, the singer. Yes, the 15 years. She had 15. To where it's... At this point, I look at him as like the Cosby of our generation. Where I'm like, how is it that everybody is always like, oh, he's the guy with the choir with I Believe I Can Fly. But everybody knows about the whole urination thing, allegedly.
Right.
And
well, was it allegedly or was he convicted? I don't know. I
don't want to speak on it on the air.
Yeah,
Litigation is real, but everybody knows what we all allegedly know.
Well, it's Dave Chappelle, I'll put it this way. Dave Chappelle painted a really nice picture.
Exactly. You're exact. That's a perfect way to put it. Most people know what we're talking about right now.
Is that what you tried to say, putting it?
Yeah, that's a great way to put that. Most people know what that one is. That Chappelle show, my God. Amazing
I came across the article where he was putting like a cult together where he had different separate women and separate homes on his property, and they weren't allowed to speak to each other and stuff like that.
He said he had a woman that trained the other women how to please him or something like that would come into the house.
That's a trip, man. So R. Kelly, he's in it.
A lot of weird stories coming out of the R. Kelly camp. Poor Hove. Jay-Z had that he made like a big album with the two of them back and forth, and it was good music. But then Hove probably was like, yo, this whole
then I'm out.
bodily functions
whole thing that
with
you're doing.
the public. I don't know.
Hey, we talked about it earlier. Sometimes you got to separate yourself from certain people in your circle so you could better yourself to follow your dreams. Otherwise you're going to be, well, I don't know, hanging out with somebody who pees on somebody. I don't know.
That's real.
All right, what do you got? Moving on.
All right, so let's see here. Today I learned there was a study where men and women asked people on campus whether they would like to sleep with them. The women had a 75% success rate. The men had a 0% success rate.
What?
That's real.
Come on now.
I'm just saying, listen, it's unfortunately biology is real, and I'm learning to speak, obviously, English here.
Yeah,
so
it's all right. You're learning.
Up and it's early. But biology is real, and the truth is it's just easier for the ladies.
Yeah, the dude package is kind of just like thrown together.
And we're all hairy and sometimes have
lumpy in spots.
Pheromones. You're right, and you got
you get the gas.
The dad body.
And
yeah. Anyway.
And then the women, they just kind of got to show up.
These studies, though, my goodness, it's good stuff. All right, so this one's a good one. Today I learned, and this one I know about. Today I learned there's a type of honey called mad honey, which causes hallucinations.
I have seen.
Yes, honey.
You can look up this documentary.
On the there's a Vice one and a couple other ones about it.
Yeah, check out Mad Honey.
Honey hunters in Nepal make
Yes,
dangerous
sir.
vertical climbs to harvest it.
Very dangerous.
Since it sells for the grand price of $60 to $80 a pound.
Whoa.
Imagine buying psychedelics for $60 a pound. Like, dear God.
I've seen that if you're not used to it, you can OD. Like within the villagers and stuff like that. Like it's a high risk.
I've heard the same thing. To where we'll always obviously point to do your own research, people. We're just pointing out some of these topics here.
Absolutely.
But I've heard that bees were going to rhododendrons, the flower, and I guess something to do with the chemical in the rhododendron, and then the bee doing what it does.
Okay.
And then the honey would then be just...
The biology of it would be altered.
Right.
Interesting.
I'll have to look into the chemical structures of what they got going on there to find out what...
Well, from my understanding, them people are mad. Because I saw the cliffs that they ascend to try. I mean, and you're crazy. You're at risk. It's not like they're working with Home Depot ropes.
Why?
These are vines and stuff that they've braided. Now, I'm sure they've been doing it for generations, but the stuff snaps.
Oh my gosh! It's like you're waiting for that YouTube video where it's just they're gonna fall. Just like, waiting for it.
Things fails, I think, is what they're going. Gone wrongs.
It was where yesterday I'm watching one. I saw a clip of a guy, a kind of drunk guy, and he looks up. He sees a bicycle shop, and he sees they have half of a bicycle on the front of the store, just like attached.
No, that guy was really drunk. I've seen that video, and he climbs up onto it, and he tries to get on it. Tries to ride the bike that they've got mounted on the building.
Yes.
I'm sorry, sir, but you need to hold your breath.
Yes.
You're an idiot.
Yes.
You're an idiot.
I sat there the whole time going, is he actually going to make it, though? I go, no, this is one of them videos. Like you kind of
hoped for it.
It's one of those videos. He's definitely going to eat his face on the concrete.
And then gravity won.
Yeah.
Yeah, simple as that. He got what he deserved.
I mean, maybe that's a helpful thing. We need to thin this herd. Some of these adults that grow up, it's
peel the label off. Help a friend out.
Peel them safety labels off. You know which one of your friends have dumb kids, okay?
Just do it.
You go to their house, you get all the safety labels off your friends' dumb kids.
It's a community effort.
You'll be sad when it happens, but understand you helped us all forward in life. You know what I mean?
Puppy. Get a puppy.
This is so dark, Manny.
All
this
right.
is dark.
Today I learned
that several months before Russell Crowe won the Oscar for Gladiator, the FBI warned him that the Al-Qaeda were planning to kidnap him as part of a cultural destabilization plot for nearly 2 years. The FBI guarded Crowe in public and refused
You've got to be kidding me.
to give him any details about the threat.
You've got to be kidding me. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That's it. All right. I'm not. Moving on.
Wow. Today I learned that the gym chain Planet Fitness, which charges between $10 and $20 per month, has on average 6,500 members per gym. Most of its gyms can hold around 300 people. Planet Fitness can do this because it knows that most members won't show up.
Now that's a business strategy.
Hilarious.
It's true. It's
hilarious.
true. I get it. That is real math.
They're like, we know ain't nobody showing up, so
They know they can run the special at the end of the holidays or this, that, and the other, getting ready for summer.
Put it on sale.
Somebody's going to come in and buy it.
We're selling paper.
And they know that they're not going to show
No
up.
one's coming in. They're not going to use it.
Brilliant.
No wear and tear. That's it.
Planet
No one's
Fitness.
coming in.
This is me.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Brilliant. Today I learned something great.
So this one I've talked about once before and is a great one. So today I learned in 1985 a drug smuggler jettisoned 40 kilos, 76 pounds, because that's how we get down. It's pounds, not kilos. All these kilos bother me.
America.
Yeah, America. 76 pounds of cocaine. That's right, I said it. From his airplane over Georgia's Chattahoochee National Forest.
Ooh.
A black bear, later dubbed Pablo Escobar, was found and ate all of the cocaine, died of an inconceivably massive overdose.
Well, I could only imagine.
Yeah, to where he basically tossed off all 40 keys over
And this
Georgia.
bear found it and ate it?
The bear was like, this is tasty. I don't like how I like how it smells. No, I like how it tastes too. And
Hey, boo-boo, you got any more of that rock?
yeah. Oh my God, that's probably real. And then they start running really fast. They do the feet thing, and woo, man, that's good stuff. All right.
Today I learned.
No,
Blinker?
we're gonna
Blinker?
skip that one.
Thump thump.
Ooh. Today I learned Pornhub displayed a message that said it automatically shared the video you were watching on social media for April Fools. That's messed up.
That's a great prank.
Oh my God. Wow.
That's a great prank.
Not really, because a lot of heart attacks probably ensued, because there's a lot of married older gentlemen
That are
okay, to where it's tough because
Yeah.
sometimes, and here's the truth, the ladies get tired. You know, they got the same whatever going. It smells. I'm tired. It don't even work right all the time. I gotta wait till he eats the pill. So it's like, you know, it ain't happening all the time for them. So they want to be faithful for their wives.
Absolutely.
And so they take things into their own hands,
Well,
if you will.
Pun intended.
You know what I mean? And so the last thing you need, though, is your search history shared with the one you love.
Yeah.
Because it happened to me.
For real?
Not fun, bro. What is this? Is this what you're into? And I'm like, I do.
What do you mean?
Huh?
I'm just clicking on things.
I didn't. No excuse. I'm sorry. I'm weird. Okay?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be. I mean, to have that kind of information exposed. I mean, maybe on a public level, yeah, that would be on a detrimental. But here's the deal: if my wife, she stumbled across mine, here's the deal: I'm with you every day. I love her to the moon and back and beyond.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? And I'm a man. I'm an animal, and sometimes I feel like a beast inside.
I've got to get the poison out.
And here's the deal: you do what you got to do, but don't worry about the search history because they're lying to you anyways.
Yeah.
That ain't the the supermodel. That ain't actually that lady. You know, it's not the pizza guy that's gonna come. That's not real. It's all performed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and
So. Like, what does it matter what the title says? What does it matter what it, so what
And
what
if
is
they're
it?
old, you're going to be old too. Is that weird?
No.
Is that weird? Is that weird?
So, Colorado Springs,
Anyway,
today I learned.
All right. Today I learned that organ donation is an opt-out basis in Singapore. Citizens who have opt-out have a lower priority of receiving an organ should they need one.
Ouch.
Ouch.
So I've heard rumors saying that, if you've got the little heart on your license, they're going to let you die on the side of the road so they can harvest your organs.
I've heard that before.
Okay. Now you're telling me over in Singapore, if you opt out, you gonna get left.
Yeah, so if you need...
They being honest about it.
Like, no, you're done. You're done.
What?
Yeah. That's a weird thing because I have family members that have helped.
Are you a donor?
Or yes, yeah.
Really, I'm not.
Yeah, I am only because I had a buddy of mine that passed away, and he donated, and there was a bunch of people that received this stuff, and it was just a beautiful thing. And I had to sit there and just go, you know what? Yeah, no. If that 17-year-old was blind and they were able to get eyesight or whatever, or had a heart issue, or that kid, yeah, no. My buddy just checked out early. Hey, life happens, but Let's use the technology we have while we have it. What we can do while we can before we.
I get it.
We'll 3D print it up later at some point, but for now, this is what we got, people. So that's why I checked yes was my buddy. It was a personal thing on that one because I was freaked out at first. So I heard the same thing. Was like,
But and here's my thing is I don't need it on my license. You know what I mean? Somebody asked me for my kidney. I think I got the stones enough to do it.
Right.
You know, like if they need it, like and you really with me, like
right.
Why not? You know, I mean that's what we're here for. Humanity shouldn't have boundaries, you know, just because like I don't know, that's not how I live my life. You know, so like if my family, if my brother, if my sister, if somebody needs it, we're here. You know what I mean? So I don't need it on my license plate or on my license.
Just to say it.
But then again, if I do happen to pass unexpectedly, I get the necessity for it for them to be able to retrieve for somebody who might not, you know.
Right.
I might not be connected to, if you will. But then again, I don't want to have to worry about that. I'll worry about, you know, the people that are close to me first.
Right, the you and yours. I got you. I don't know. I had a cousin who had a baby. Baby actually passed away. Very sad, but it went viral. And it was in Arizona where the baby ended up receiving a heart transplant. And they met together, and the one mom was able to hear her baby's heart in the other baby.
In the other heart.
None of these stories worked out good, unfortunately. But the good part of it being they were able to extend that moment in time.
Just a little
to
bit.
have that time, which was a beautiful thing. They did have that connectivity of my child didn't die in vain. It helped somebody else maybe moment.
Just to live a little bit longer.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
so all that
And
maybe was the silver lining.
I understand the power behind it. I really do.
But again, it is that weird. Is it my politics on my license? I don't need to check off.
Why do we got to get people involved?
Anyway, today I learned that Judaism emphasizes that
What?
coitus, I guess,
Are you
relations. I'm trying to clean up, make sure. I don't know what we're allowed to say. Emphasizes that relations is a deeply holy act to be performed regularly, and insists that it be pleasurable for both members of a married couple.
Yes.
Not all religions think that way.
So are they saying like at least once a week? I mean, what would be your fair guess? What would you deem, you know, appropriate?
I'm hoping that
what's regular is maybe my question here.
I mean, I guess that depends on who translated your Bible, a male or a female. So
you get it once every 3 months, and I only.
After that red wine
Only.
from the sack. All right, stop, Manny. We are pissing off a lot of people. I apologize. This is a different show. It's not the Manny and DrChurch. Some other show took over the radio.
It is the Manny and DrChurch.
It is. All right, we'll take responsibility. You're
Okay.
right. All right, today I learned. This one's a weird one. Survival of the Charlie Hebdo shooting in Paris. I don't know if you remember that.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
All right, so there was a shooting in Paris where a bunch of the people that had affiliated with, let's say, the Al Qaeda type genre,
Are
the
you talking about
terrorists.
where that video came from the window? Is that the perspective that shooting?
I don't know if it's that one. They came in, they shot up a bunch of journalists.
Okay.
I guess basically it led to the thing where Hillary Clinton, where those soldiers died, Benghazi.
Okay.
They blamed Benghazi on that.
I don't want to go down that road.
So they said that it was because of a video or something. So this was another thing where they said they went in and shot them all up because they made a cartoon of Muhammad. So I guess somebody a survivor of the shooting in Paris sued French media after giving away his location on live TV during the shooting.
Yeah, they were broadcasting it.
Right while it was going down to where he was just like, you were telling him where I was going? No, you're done. I'm sorry. I'm coming back after you. That's how that went down. Very interesting. You could sue somebody in
Well, we can save the whole
Benghazi.
Benghazi thing for a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother deeper. Right.
Do your research, people.
Today I learned.
Please be informed.
Woo, that's a deep one. That's right. We don't want to talk about any of that because we want to make it home
I'll
today.
probably say some things.
Yeah, and I want to make it home today. That's a little too weirded, shaded up
Charlie
stuff
Mike.
with that.
Charlie Mike, continue.
Today I learned in one of Thomas Jefferson's letters to James Madison in 1789, he stated that the Constitution and laws should expire after 19 years. This was to
Who said
allow
that?
Thomas Jefferson's letters to James Madison. So good old Tommy J.
Okay.
Good old said said to James Madison that
Right.
after 19 years, they should expire.
That the Constitution should expire?
And this was to allow the new generations
Oh, no.
to learn from the past and change accordingly. It was also to prevent older generations from binding subsequent ones. So
You realize that you're proposing that we crumple up the old Constitution and rewrite our own based on our current
well,
settings?
all right, so here's the concept that he had, which
That's
I'm not
rude.
saying that's just
rude.
what his
Can we
original.
just keep the Constitution the way that it was?
He was a founding guy, so the idea, I think, almost makes sense in regards to chemicals have been a
Right.
major issue in our world, and only for not more than 100 years, I'd say that they had these issues that they wanted to shut us down.
It's for control.
And at this point, we all know about this wonderfully horrible person that I hope personally gets cancer, Jeff Sessions. And that's a dark thing to say, but I do. I'm saying it. It's a horrible thing, and I need to go work on myself personally. So I'm going to go personally work on therapy and hope that I'm not so angry and risk those horrible things on
here's
him.
the deal. I mean, how many people don't die from cancer? So chances are is he could, because I don't know that number. How many people don't die from cancer?
I don't know, but Jeff Sessions needs to get it
right.
in a painful way, and then he'll maybe realize that the RSO might make some sense, this cannabis might make some sense in his life, instead of just being
Maybe he just
an
needs a
old
child.
guard.
Maybe he just needs a child who has seizures a lot, like
put in his
30
face.
of them, and then put it in front of his face while he's having a seizure.
And then say, hey,
Be
what
like,
do you think of
hey,
this?
yeah, this is what my child goes through, and maybe it'll change his mind.
Sad.
It's based off perspective.
It's sad. But again, at the end of 19 years, we would have scrapped all of our drug laws. So when during those 70s and 60s, and we start to shut stuff down by like the 80s and 90s, wow, they were dumb.
I
We
don't
would have
know.
moved forward. If not by now, we definitely would have moved forward, which is what's happening. But now it's at a slower rate. With his version of it, it would have been just scrap it, start
I don't
over.
think
but
were they talking about drugs in the Constitution?
not specifically. It was just
Okay.
all laws in general.
Right.
So the
So-
concept being, why would there even be a law on flowers? It's insanity. But the concept being
Because patterns over
that's-
the time, over people, they've shown us that people have abused certain
absolute
chemicals.
power apps corrupts absolutely too. So as soon as they
What?
get it, they go, we keep it,
What?
and now we own you. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Oh,
So as soon as you have the power, you're like, I keep it,
right.
and you can't have it back.
Well, I'm referring to the
Instead of being a
the
nice
individuals that have already, like during the Depression, like there weren't laws against heroin, were there?
Again, no. A lot of the laws were not there.
But then during the struggle and during all that hardship, what did heroin do to the people? In that moment, and left a lot of scars and maybe transformed a lot of communities to where when people went and pulled themselves out of the Depression, they're like, man, we know what happens when things get dark and people abuse this, so we need to outlaw it. You know what I mean? So we've been through this. People have already lived it and gone down the roads. Now, do I say that we shouldn't put it into labs and test it? No, I say go for it. We should be educated. We shouldn't limit ourselves to our own knowledge. It's out there, study it. But
Well, I point to prohibition in general, just alcohol. It was the devil. It was Satan. It was evil. They outlawed
it's
it.
propaganda,
And we
propaganda.
said people are ruining their lives with it. It's the end. And then we realized, no, there's only a small percentage of the population that just
People
go
are
too
ruining their
far
lives
it.
with McDonald's.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's me.
So I mean,
It's me. I'm sorry. It's delicious, bro. They got a cheeseburger for $1.
no.
Stop giving the free commercials. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Anyway,
thanks.
today I learned the most popular prison currency is no longer cigarettes, allegedly, but
It's ramen.
noodles.
I ain't even looking at that. And I
Wow.
knew it.
He didn't even look. Manny, that made me nervous.
I might have.
Where were you on vacation last 6 months? You went on vacation,
Hey,
but
don't
like, I
worry
thought
about
that
that.
was weird. That was really weird. He was like, oh, no, I'm going away.
No,
I got
I'm-
this retreat. I'm going on vacation.
Truth about life is
thing."
I've made choices and I've had to spend my time at CJC. You know what I mean? But
Right.
here's the deal: you only shoot yourself in the foot as long as you're willing to take the pain. So take the bullets out of the gun, quit shooting yourself in the foot, and move forward in life.
Wow. So you.
So,
Okay.
been there, done it.
You
don't
know the
need to go back.
ramen. You know the ramens. All right.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Today I learned that an elderly woman slept through the People's Temple Mass suicide in Jonestown. She woke up the next morning
What-
to discover the bodies of over 900 members of the cult. Jonestown Massacre.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, drink the Kool-Aid.
But she napped. I'm really sleepy today.
She slept.
I'm just going to sleep this one
she
out.
slept through the suicide by accident. They were like, everyone get together. It's time.
It's time. Time to gather.
And then she's like, I'm out. Boy, I was up last night.
Unicorns.
Got up and she was like, oh my God, there's death and destruction and murder.
Did I miss something?
All right. Today I learned, and then we're going to start shutting this down here. Today I learned Socrates was very worried that the increasing use of books in education would have the effect of ruining students' ability to memorize things. We only remember this now because Plato wrote it down, though. So, you know.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Thanks for that one.
Yeah, that's like the whole, like, show your work, don't use a calculator, and then you have a calculator everywhere the rest of your life. And yeah, I don't know. That's a weird topic.
But, I mean, it's true. You only retain what you use. So if all you have is what you need to use, you'll know it. You'll have it memorized, correct? You know, but you're
yeah,
not
if
gonna,
you learn it. Right.
I mean,
I get what you're saying.
It goes into the argument of like, yes, I learned all kinds of stuff in U.S. social studies, whatever it was, and now what do I know about it? I know exactly what it is when I turn on the History Channel and I see it and I refer, oh, I remember that. You know?
Right.
But outside of that, so if we were to just teach and educate our children how to file their taxes, how to pour concrete, how to frame a window, how to seal a leaky window because, drafts suck and it wastes utilities.
That's right, little church. You're 6, but you're going to learn some stuff today. No,
so, I mean,
5, she's 5.
If you focus more on the trade education, then people would become more self-sustained.
Makes sense. Well, this will probably be the last one we go down here, and this is a good one. Today I learned.
Yeah, last time you said it was a good one.
No, this one I like.
Like Nazis or something.
I think you're
going
to like this one.
I didn't like that.
Today I learned you and I are definitely going to have to get tickets to New York to go eat at whatever this place is. It says, today I learned there's a restaurant in New York that doesn't employ chefs. They employ grandmas. Yeah.
Love grandmas.
Every day, a different grandma from around the world.
All my grandmas are dead.
Designs her own menu. Well, that was sad.
I know. But I think about that. Like, all those cookies are gone. You know what I'm saying? So, like, whenever you get a chance, like, any grandma is, like, okay with me.
Let me hook it up.
Yeah, you know
Help
what I'm saying?
me out.
Like, I'll go over to your house. That's grandma. You need me to clean your gutters. I'll take some cookies in payment. Thank you.
Please, please, just hook it up. I don't have access to this. I understand what you're saying. So, yeah, I'm going to have to find out the name of that and maybe see if they want to pay for a commercial.
Grandmas are cooking in New York at a restaurant.
Yeah, and they have every day a different grandma from around the world designs her own menu.
No way.
And because it's New York, you got global people from
just
everywhere.
Coming in
you know
and
what
out.
I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you just got every corner of the everywhere.
Yeah, and a good old chicken fried steak.
That's right. That's right. Well, if you want good food, you've also got some. You got a Tex-Mex grill going down.
And I'm gonna shout out Jill's Kitchen. That's one of my hometown favorites here off of Platte.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's got the good stuff.
Man, they still got the old school coffee cups. In the pouring sugar instead of all of the packets that you got to break open and make the mess. Like it's an old school, hole in the wall cafe diner.
That's awesome.
Jill's Kitchen, check it out. Yeah.
Those are the best, the whole hole in the walls.
Yep.
I got ones back in Jersey that some of them were literally like trailers. Like they'll put an actual trailer on a lot, and that's a diner. Shout out Franklin Diner. The Franklin Diner is a straight up trailer.
What do they call those? The silver ones? Those silver trailers? What do they call those? I don't even know what the heck they're called.
I don't either. I know what you're talking about.
She'd kill me right now if I didn't know what it was called. But they're those silver, shiny, bullet-looking,
They had them in Sopranos. That's where they'd go sometimes for their meetups, and you'd see like a literal box. That's a real place for real.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
that's a real thing. TikTok Diner. The guy got arrested allegedly for, I think, trying to take out the owner. Yeah, very mob-like over there.
It's not mob-like over at Jill's Kitchen.
Right.
It's more just down home. Good
or
food.
the Speakeasy Vape Lounge where you can get some tacos.
That is true.
Hey.
Tacos and burgers.
You got nachos with
chili
cheese.
Dogs. Hit 'em, Maria.
Speakeasy Vape Lounge, 2508 East Bijou, which also houses and contains heaven.
The Game Room and Back. Hashtag Game Room and Back. Check that out. I've got 40 years of video game history. You think of the games from our childhood, chances are I got it. And if I don't have it, I'll find it, and I'll find it locally. I shop locally. I don't shop on the internet. I vote with my dollar. I'm out here just trying to find these games, preserve them, so that way when you want to smoke your trees, I've got the games for us to play.
And he's got the spots. I'm going to speak up and say, man, he's got the spots. This dude has found the secret hidden little corners of this planet to source video games from.
I find the games, man. I find them.
It's impossible, man. So Speakeasy Vape Lounge, 2508 East Bijou, you will have the opportunity to allegedly possibly meet Nintendo Jesus, a.k.a. Manny. And no, he does not wear sandals.
No, I don't.
This show is also brought to you by Lab Builder Supplies, running a special this week for $4.20. You can get a box of nitrile gloves for $4.20 per box, or you can get a case for $42 a box. Those nitrile gloves you're using and spending a lot of money on.
No, if I'm a mechanic, can I get these gloves?
You can get these gloves.
If I'm somebody who doesn't want to touch a dirty toilet,
you can get these gloves.
And $4.20 week.
If you're a trimmer, I mean, the amount of money people are going through right now trimming.
Because this is one of the busiest holidays. Yeah,
all of you managers right now that probably tune into Daily Dose to get the 420 on the 411 on the 420.
There you go.
You're out here. I'm telling you now, if you randomly tuned in this morning, $4.20 a box, $42 a case, nitrile gloves. Hit up Lab Builder Supplies. The number, get ready for it,
are you ready?
719-722-4181. 719-722-4181.
Okay,
Get your gloves.
Now can you say the alphabet backwards, please?
ZYX, WVUT, SRQ, PON, MLK, JIHG, FED,
All right, and can I get that phone number again, please?
719-722-4181.
Colorado Springs, get your gloves. These
real.
are extremely discounted.
It's real.
$4.20 a box. You ain't going to get that anywhere else.
And we appreciate you just being involved with our show and learning. We hope you learned something today, because if you didn't, my God.
Man, you weren't paying attention to nothing.
That was the whole show was learning. Seriously, to where I learned quite a bit. You know, I mean, Rick Moranis, I love that I learned where he went.
Right.
If I had a better memory, I'd probably come up with other ones that we went through. But
no, but we don't need to.
We don't need to.
We'll be back next weekend.
I'm not going to ask you to, because as a veteran, man, you've been through a lot of stuff. And I appreciate you veterans out there. I'm shouting this out again. I keep saying this. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks before this craziness has been going down in the other parts of the world again with this serious stuff. We've been at war for way too long, people. Way too long. We're out here waving flags. Stop the guns. Stop the this. No.
Let me pee in this bathroom. No,
Shoot.
If you want to do something, make your voice be heard.
Thank you,
Participate.
Manny. Thank you. To where we've been at war way too long. It's not right. It's not appropriate.
If you want Michigan to have clean water, let your voice be heard.
Agreed. So pay attention to the Manny and DrChurch show.
If you want fountain.
Yeah, man. Forget Michigan. I got to pay for my water all the time. You poor Fountainites. I'm out there with you, yo. And it's sad because your town is named Fountain.
Right?
Like,
the irony is
how
beautiful.
much of a kick is that? Like, I moved to a town right near
Fountain.
Colorado Springs, so the water's fresh
Named
and wonderful,
Fountain.
the springs.
Oh,
so
no.
I moved to a town called Fountain.
Don't
where they
drink
obviously
out of the fountain.
They dispense the fountain water. No, I got ripped off. Anyway, it's the Manny and DrChurch show. We appreciate y'all for being involved and listening.
Keep it locked. We'll be back next weekend. It's blazing.